And you'll get lined up and you're striking on both lanes, and then by the end of practice, all of a sudden the left lane's hooking 5 more than the right lane. Like, how does that happen? Like, that just doesn't make sense, does it? And it does, and it's because of topography. It's because of the lanes. If you actually look down these lanes here, you could see the ripples in the lanes. You could see the bumps, the valleys, the hills, all over them. And because of that, we're only bowling on a liquid. You know, it's not lacquer like back in the day. It's actually a liquid that moves. So when you first put the pattern down on the lanes, sure, when you look at those lane graphs, it's going to be just like that pattern actually shows. But let them sit there for 10 minutes or throw a few shots with the vibrations of the balls, that liquid starts to move and travel to the hills and the valleys in the lane. So most people don't pay any attention to that. And is there anything you can really do about it? No. You just have to do your best job at reading what your ball is doing, trying to figure out what your ball is exactly doing to help you make the right adjustments throughout the night, right? So if you do start to notice, okay, this lane's starting to hook a little bit more, don't be afraid to make the move. Don't second guess yourself and say, oh, I think I just threw that one bad. How many people do that? You know, you always want to blame yourself before you actually just trust that you're doing what you've been training yourself to do, and you just make the move. I do it all the time. Every time I go and bowl a regional or something, I'll sit there and I'll watch a shot and it'll strike, and I'll say, I think I could throw. I'll just throw the next one better. When instead I'm watching an almost 4-pin and I should be making a move, but I don't, and I end up big 4, or I end up 4-pinning the very next shot, and I end up losing a frame because of that. And it's the same thing in league. If you start to notice these little things, pay attention to it and actually trust yourself to make the move. Don't just sit there. Don't think you can throw it better. Actually trust that you can make a move. What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from Classic Lanes here in Rochester Hills, Michigan, where today I'm actually going to talk to you a little bit about your spine tilt, where your body should be, where your body should not be when you're at the foul line releasing the ball. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back. So when we're talking about spine tilt, we're talking about from your waist up through the top of your head, basically, okay? What we don't want to see is we don't want to see a ton of bend at the waist to where you get that 45-degree angle. And usually that comes from lack of knee bend, people getting lazy, not wanting to get in not wanting to get in the right position to be able to create the leverage that you want. So let me show you why that's imperative to bowling. When we get into position, okay, if I get over here, how easy, if I'm bent over here trying to throw the ball, how easy is it for me to get my hand to create? And if I've got my knee straight and my body bent over, it's next to impossible for me to get my hand in the right position and to create any kind of leverage. But now if I go and I get my knee bent and I get low and then my body more upright, now I can pretty much do whatever I want. I can bring this ball up as far as I want, and I can create any leverage that I want, and I can get my hand into any position that I want. So there's a good mixture. There is no, I mean, some people will tell you there's specific angles that you should be at, certain degrees. I'm going to tell you right now, it's about a comfort thing. You want to be as comfortable as possible, unless it's at a point where you're bent straight over. If it's comfortable for you to be like this, we need to change your comfort level a little bit to get it to where it's more comfortable to be upright. So when I throw the ball, if I get to, a bad position here and I try to throw the ball and I get my hand, I can't do much. My hand pretty much comes to the top of it and it just spins off the top of the ball. There's not much I can do about it. So if you're somebody that sees yourself on top of the ball, a lot of that may be because of your spine tilt being a little bit forward. Now, if I take, I'm just going to grab a ball real quick. Now, if I take and I get myself into a better position and I do that same thing here, body upright, okay, now I can keep my hand in a good spot and make the ball roll off my hand, keep my palm up. I can do all the right things. So you can create more leverage. You can create a whole lot easier, repeatable position than when you are bent over. So the next time you go and practice, try and pay attention, get yourself on video, try and pay attention to how far over you're bent. And if you're not bending at the knees enough, then you need to make sure you're bending with your knees and not your waist. So try to get to where you're down a little bit lower with your knees and your waist is a little bit more upright. Obviously, you don't want to be standing straight up. You take away your leverage there too, but at a little bit of an angle forward is fine. And then even having that shoulder drop is okay too. So make sure to put these things together. If you have questions, try to hit me up. I'm at lifestractioncontroljr@gmail.com, and I'll try to get to them. Or if you want virtual lessons to take care of these things, you can always go over to Patreon. The link's in the description below. So until next time, guys, I hope this helps you and gives you a little bit something to look at to see if you can create a little bit more leverage later on in your game. So until next time, we'll see you later.
Do you want to hook the ball more? Not sure how? Let's fix that.
Hi, Scott Pohl here, a contributor with the National Bowling Academy.
I have an incredible deal to offer you for the National Bowling Academy's premium membership. $3 for an entire year, and you'll gain access to all premium member benefits. That's 94% off our normal premium price. Join me and thousands of passionate bowlers who are committed to mastering their skills. Sign up for National Bowling Academy today and gain access to video courses and full-length instructional videos led by expert coaches. Our videos feature equipment choices, lane play options, physical game adjustments, and more. These videos are accessible to you on and off the lanes, giving you the ability to work on your game anytime, anywhere. In addition, you'll also get great discounts within the National Bowling Academy shop. Sign up for National Bowling Academy's premium membership now and get an entire year for just $3.
Hey guys, JR Raymond here, back at the TurboTech Training Center in Chesterfield, Michigan. Let's talk a little bit about the biggest complaint that seems to be going around social media today, and that is urethane. People seem to love it and hate it at the same time. A lot of it is because when you follow urethane, when you go from one pair to another, and somebody's using urethane, it seems to take away the oil in the front part of the lane and move it down lane quite a bit, which then makes your reactive resin ball use up energy in the front and then do nothing down lane. So it's hard to get your ball to go through the pin. You see an awful lot of flat 10s and swisher 7s and stuff like that. So what do we do to combat that? Well, you could either, if you can't beat them, just join them and grab urethane yourself. But if you're one of those guys who needs the reactive because you don't have a ton of hand like me, you've got to find other ways to get around it. So what do? So this pair that I'm bowling on right now, I used an awful lot of urethane with the purple and the black hammer, throwing it around, 16, 17 to about 8, struck for a while, and then I started to leave some flat 10 pins with it. So what's the move from there? That seems to be the issue, is when we start leaving those flat 10 pins, how do we move, how do we adjust to start getting them out, and how much do we move with a reactive ball? So usually the common move is to just grab a stronger reactive ball and try to stay in the same area and see what happens. So usually what happens there is your ball pushes down lane a little too far and you flack the 10. And so we got to make moves. So let me see if I can't get this ball to do that right now. Yeah, so you got your black 10 right there from all that oil being down lane. So how do we get the 10 out? The biggest mistake people make is they then try to get their hand around it to try to get it to jerk more down lane. Well, no matter what you do with a bowling ball, you're not going to get it to come off of oil down lane, with the exception of, you can a little bit, but it's not going to make a big enough difference to get through the pins most times. So what you want to try to do is either go around it or get in of it. stay left of it. So the easier thing is to probably just go around it. So I would move my feet a bunch to the left, maybe not a bunch, but let's say I'll probably move like 7 left. I'll get my hand around it and go around that spot, try to get it to about 6 or 7 instead of that 8, 9 area, and see if we can't get the stronger reactive ball to go through the pins. Big difference there. So as you see, I tried to play that tighter line where I was with the urethane with a stronger ball, and it still doesn't go through the pins. That seems to be a pretty common mistake. I used to make that mistake all the time, especially when you go out on tour. They seem to break down like that real fast. They get to this point where they hook in the front and then they're super tight down lane, almost like the lanes are oiled backwards. So it's hard to get your ball to go through the pins. So you see a lot of guys, you see Don Barrett, Tommy Jones, Bill O'Neill, those guys, they're standing. That's why they get forced so far left so fast, is because they got to throw it to the right and get it to come off of it from a further spot to the right, rather than trying to play such tight angles. And that's the only way to seem to get your ball to go through the pins. So higher tilt has been one of those things that have been successful lately. And that's why you see a lot of guys who are super, super good, like those guys I mentioned, Andrew Anderson, EJ Tackett, Jason Belmonte, and the list goes on. These guys know how to get their ball to go through the pins, whereas guys like me, we're kind of just learning. But this is a good demonstration to show you exactly how that works. So the next time you run into urethane, see if you can't get your ball to go around where the urethane spots are, rather than trying to fight it with a stronger ball in there or trying to use urethane yourself. See if that helps you. If not, you can yell at me later. That's okay. Take care, guys. We'll see you later. Hey guys, JR Raymond back again at the training center in TurboTech in Chesterfield, Michigan. Today's a pretty exciting day because I got myself a Triton Elite by Track. And we're going to throw it a little bit here on the Allen pattern, which is more of like a challenge pattern. It's not a real tough pattern, not an easy pattern. We're going to throw some Specto data in there. You can take a look at it all and decide whether this ball is for you or not. So stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. So we're going to check out this Triton Elite. If we look at the Specto screen over here, you can see down here, if you can see my mouse, hopefully, I have the pattern laid out over the lane. This is the Allen pattern. It's a pattern that's used for the high school kids here in Michigan. It's not an easy pattern. It's not a hard pattern. It's kind of one of them challenge patterns. So pay attention to where the ball crosses here, kind of give you a good idea. You got your launch angle, your speeds, launch speed, lay down point, break point exit, all that stuff. Where it's at the arrows, kind of pay attention to these numbers, and it'll let you know what the ball is actually doing on the lane compared to what you see. So here we go. I'm gonna throw 10 shots. We're gonna make this one quick and easy. I'm gonna throw 10 shots, basically moving a zone left almost every time. So we'll start at the like 8, 9 area. See what the ball does. Whoops. Well, let's not do that one again. Maybe we'll throw 11 shots because that didn't come off my hand very well. Try again. Don't do that. It's a good start to it. But that's the beauty of my videos, is they're uncut. What you see is what you get. So here we go. We're gonna try that one again. Right around that 8, 9 area, nice and straight. Yeah, a little better there. A little better. So what I want you to pay attention to is as I move left, obviously I have to change my hand position to get the ball to do different things. If the ball is reacting to how I change my hand and doing the right thing, that's the sign of a good ball. If it's not, and it keeps doing the same thing over and over again, no matter what I do, that means you probably don't match up with this ball, and it's not going to roll very good for you unless you do that one specific thing. All right, so I'm going to move Zone left. Get to that 13, 14 range now. Pull the hook. Yeah, okay, so far so good. Yeah, so that was almost 14. It's about 5 boards left of the last one. Did it get to the same area, break point? Yeah, right at about the same area. So as I go left, my break point eventually is going to have to start coming left too. So now if I move 5 more left-ish, see if we can look at like 16, 17-ish. All right. So those are, after one horrendous start for the first shot that you saw, I'm going to call that first shot jitters. That's what I'll call it. I got nervous for the camera. The last 3 were actually pretty good. So let's keep going left. So that was 5 there. Let's go 5 more. Now I got to start moving my break point left. That last one was 2 left of the last one. So this is probably going to have to be about 1 left of that last one. See if we can't look at 20, 21-ish. Oh, that's a sign that my hand change wasn't enough. So it was 23 at the arrows, got to about 6. So it was a little right of where it needs to be, but you could tell by the motion that I didn't do the right thing with my hand. So that's where I need to get my hand around it just a pinch more. So let's try that same area. Rotate my fingers just a pinch. And miss left. Woo! That's not fun. That's not fun at all. All right, we're gonna try again because that was a horrible shot. Ugh. Hard to judge off of that. Try again. Rotate the fingers. Make a good shot. It's closer. Ah. Still got right. That's okay. So that might be its limits. We're going to keep going left, just in case. I know those weren't great shots, but we're going to keep going left. Here, let's look at 24, 25. All right, so maybe it's just that zone, because that looked pretty dang good. It was right around 24. It got to about 8 down lane, so yeah, that's that change. So as I went left, the break point started going further left. Now it looks like the pinwheel stopped spinning again. I got a belt on this pinwheel that just keeps getting jammed. And there it goes. Well, it gets caught in a specific spot. It stops spinning every so often. So now, let's see if we can't keep going. So let's go 5 more. Now I'm really gonna have to get my hand around it because now I'm sliding in the left gutter. And I have to still get it to like 8, 9, 10-ish. We're gonna look at 23-ish, 24. I'm sorry, no, redo. That just confused myself, not 23. It'd be like 27, 28, maybe. Yeah, 20, 28, 29. That's where we'll go. There we go. I hit 26, so it was definitely right of target. Got to about 8 down lane. But you can see it still made its motion, so that's good. So it reacted to what my hand wants it to do, so that's good. That is the sign of a versatile ball. I can go straighter with it, and I can go around it. So that was 8. We'll keep going left. See if we can get over the cap now. Still got to get it to that 9, 10, 11 range. So you really got to get your hand around it to get it through the pins. That's why. So if you don't do the right thing with your hand, it just kind of gets blah down lane. So that was 28 at the arrows, 6.5 down lane. So it got a little bit right. If that hits 8, it probably strikes. But I think I can still get it to strike from there. So I'm going to just up it a little bit, see if I can't really get my axis rotation high, get the ball to go through the pins. It's really twirl one. That'll do it. That'll do it. So I reacted pretty good to that. That was basically the same as the last shot. And that one actually got through the pins. So you can notice, same launch angle, 2/10 of a board different at the arrows, but the same, or 1/10 of a board different at the break point. And it got through the pins. So that little change makes that big of a difference. I don't know if I can go much farther left than that with this ball. But we'll try. We'll loft one, see what it gives me. Go through the pins. Oh, I guess that's one to end on. That's the Randy Peterson right there. Yeah, that one was 30 at the arrows. That one got to about 6 and still got through the pins, so that's good. So that's pretty sweet. So there we go, guys. Let me reset that. So this is your Triton Elite. You got 12 shots with it. Well, maybe 10 because there was 2 really bad ones in there, but it was still pretty good. So pay attention to that stuff. When you're practicing and you're testing out bowling balls to see whether you're going to like it or not, try different hand positions. And if the ball reacts to those different hand positions how you want, that ball matches up pretty good with you. This ball matches up pretty good with me because it allows me to do any of my hand positions to get the ball to do what I want. So this is going to be one of those balls that's in my bag quite often. And at the World Series coming up, you're probably going to see me throw it quite a bit. Between this, a Web Tour, the Statement Pearls, I've got pretty much the whole spectrum in my bag. So from here out, I don't have any excuses, which I didn't really have any then before because I just bowled bad and I stink. So that's okay. Now, if I bowl bad, it's me. I bowl bad. It's not the equipment. It's not the lanes. It's not the people. It's not anything other than myself. So I've got the bowling balls in my hands. Now I just got to make the execution, make it happen. So hopefully see some of you guys in Detroit. If not, pay attention to the next video. I got a couple more coming out. So until next time, make sure you subscribe to this page, subscribe to the Turbo 2-in-1 Grips page. Remember to go over to the Ebonite International page because they do the one take videos. So go over there, check those out if you can. And we will see you guys next time. Oh, and go get your strike wipes. Go to the website, get your strike wipes, and clean your bowling balls after every time you bowl. I'm going to clean mine right now, so that way it's ready to go for the World Series. So take care, guys. We will see you later.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the live stream. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get all the notifications of our live streams and our videos posted just about daily.
What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from Shopmakers Pro Shop here in Toledo, Ohio. And today we're going to go back and talk about releases again. I'm going to show you the difference between what you need to do when you play straighter versus what you need to do when you play further left. And vice versa if you're left-handed, obviously. But we're going to try and make some changes to our hand and change the ball reaction a little bit using the same ball. So if you don't have the option of making a ball change, this is what you're going to try to do. And even if you can make a ball change, you're probably going to want to try this little tweak before you try doing other things. So stay tuned. All right, so we're gonna try and take something. I'm gonna take a big, strong ball. Okay, so I'm gonna take this aspect that I have, and I'm gonna try and play a normal hand position. You know, trying to play that 10, 11, 12 range. You know, I'm just kind of playing up the lane, using my A release, and I'm gonna judge the ball reaction and see what kind of change I need to make. Whoa. All right, so we got that up to about 11-7. So now how am I going to get that ball to the pocket without feeling like, holy cow, I have to change balls? Now, if I don't have a choice, if this is where I like to play, this is where I feel like I need to play, I probably have to make some kind of a small change. So I'm going to just change my hand. Now, all I'm going to do is instead of throwing my A release, I'm going to back out and I'm going to throw more of a rolly release. I'm going to try to lower my rev rate, pick up my speed, and roll it more forward to get it to stay in that spot. So when you talk to that video about the clock, I'm going to try, instead of have my you know, thumb exit at about 10, I'm going to try to get my thumb to exit at 11 or 12, and my thumb follows through that same spot. So I can really lay off ball reaction just by changing my release. So that's closer. So I got 11 to 7, so it was closer. Didn't quite get there. So what else can I do? So now I can back out just a little bit more. Maybe I need to go a little bit weaker with my hand, or I can go higher ball speed. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and just back out just a pinch more and just see what happens. That one got right. Ooh, but it got there. So I backed out. You see it doesn't overreact, and it gives me a chance to at least get to the pocket. But now what's going to happen? Now that all breaks down, now I got to get to like 20. If I use the same hand position here, I have probably got zero chance to get the ball to strike from 20. So I'm going to throw that same hand position, weak hand position, throw it to the right. I think my chances of striking are next to zero. Yep, so the ball just never hooks. It just goes down lane, doesn't do anything. So I have to now do the opposite of what I was doing when I was straighter. So when I was straighter, I had to back out of it, kind of had to manipulate the ball to make it go straighter. Now I actually need to get stronger with my hand to get the ball to strike from that spot. So I'm gonna just strengthen up. Now I'm gonna get my thumb to exit closer to 10. Back to that strong point again. Watch the ball overtake and strike. Now, you go. So that's just a quick tip and shows you how and why you have to manipulate how the ball comes off your hand in order to get the ball to be able to play different parts of the lane. So we're not all always going to have the option of just changing balls, because even if your hand is super rolly and you like to play further right, that's why you struggle playing further left, is because you struggle with the ability of getting your hand around it, creating a little bit more side roll to get the ball to hook a little bit more all around the lane. You know, so you're going to have to go practice these things a little bit to get better at it. But that's what some of the best bowlers in the world are able to do. They can play straight up the lane, and they can play way left and circle the lane a little bit when they need to. So make sure to go practice these things. I hope it helps you. And until next time, guys, I'm out of here. We'll see you later. What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from Classic Lanes in Rochester Hills, Michigan. This is the home of MRB Classic Pro Shop, Mason Brantley's Pro Shop here. We're going to talk a little bit, just released a video about the crossover step and how that can change your swing. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about straightening that swing out and how the crossover can actually help you straighten out the swing. So stay tuned. All right, so I'm probably going to be talking to you with my back towards you because I want you to be able to see the swing. I want you to be able to see the arm swing. I want you to be able to see everything in line so that way we can properly teach this. So when we're talking about the approach and the crossover step, what we did before is when we got going, if we don't take that second step in front of the other step, now we have to push the ball to the right. So if I go ahead and take a normal one step and then second step straight like this, now when I'm pushing the ball away, if I push it straight under my chin, I have nowhere to go with it. It has to hit my leg. So most times when people do that, they take their first step and then they go second step this way. They actually push the ball to the right to get around their body. And what happens, they go around, they get back behind their back, the ball comes way behind their head over this way, and then the ball projects that way. Or they overreact, they over try to correct it, and then they yank the ball to the left. So we want to correct that by making sure the ball is pushing the opposite way. So if I'm going to start, I'm going to be taking my step 1, 2, and I'm going to push the ball with my leg. Now, the pushing it this way means I can correct that swing that's going behind my back. So if you've got a swing that goes behind your back already naturally, we have to over exaggerate the push away to get it to straighten out a little bit. So we're going to go this way. So we're going to go 1, 2, push it this way in front so it swings this way. So watch what it looks like when I do it in full motion. Okay. So now you can see that swing even gets going a little bit to the right. So now if I do it the other way, once this ball comes back, you'll take a look. If I do it the other way, you'll notice how the swing actually comes behind my back a little bit. So for the people who have trouble with, maybe they get the ball going out too far, this is the correction you would make then. So now you would take and you would then push the ball the opposite way. If you have a trouble with the swing going out away from your body too much, you would then take your first step, the crossover step, and then you would push it a little bit to the right to get it to come back behind your body. So it would look like this. Okay, so we get that swing back in alignment based on whichever tendency you have. If you have a tendency, again, if you have a tendency of pushing it away to the left and then swinging it too far away from your body, you want to do the opposite to try to correct that. You want to push it to the right. But at all times, we should be thinking about that crossover step too. Because if that step doesn't cross over, the ball has nowhere to drop and it can't stay underneath your head the entire time. So remember from that crossover video, you saw that. So now you're going to take this push away in effect with the crossover step. If you want to stop the ball from going behind your butt, you take 1, 2, and you push the ball with the step. So you push it to the left so it swings to the right. If you need to get the ball to come back a little bit straighter because you get it too far to the right and you want to straighten it out, you're going to push it to the right. So you're going to go 1, 2, and you're going to push it away from your body to get it to straighten out. So try these things the next time you're out practicing, see if it helps you straighten your swing out a little bit. Put a camera out behind you, and then you can fix that swing for yourself because you can watch the video and see what you've got going on. If you need any help with this, just make sure to hit me up, and I'll try to reply as much as I can. But until next time, guys, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.
What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from my house on my phone because I'm not at work. I got the kids today. They're taking a nap. So I've been getting a lot of questions about how virtual lessons and all that stuff works. And really, I created the virtual lessons for those who can't come and see me in person. But granted, if you're close and you can come see me, we can definitely work it out to where we head over to Classic Lanes in Rochester Hills, Michigan.
What's up, guys? JR Raymond here, and I've got some new Dexter shoes to show you. Some stuff that some of you probably haven't seen yet coming in June of this year, Bull Expo. So stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. So as most of you know, Dexter likes to come out with a new line of shoes every year come Bull Expo. And they do like to somewhat give out some pictures and show you some of the new stuff every so often throughout their Dexter page on Facebook and all their social media platforms. But today, I've got some shoes with me that I want to show you that some of them may not have been leaked yet. So we're going to take a look at this and see what we've got coming for June of this year. So first off, I want to show you one that I know has been leaked that a lot of people have seen, and that is the new Dexter 9. This is the HT version still, and it does have the cool changing color little side pieces to it, to where if you look at it from different angles, it's probably going to be tough to see in this video, but if you look at it from different angles,
I started bowling at the age of 13. I joined a men's league at Countryside Lanes, which is now called Maple Lanes in Countryside, Florida. I bowled a lot of local tournaments for a few years and actually got a pretty big win when I was 15, and then again I defended when I was 16. And from there I started to bowl some of the Megabuck tournaments, and I just assumed I was going to be a decent amateur bowler my whole career, so I had no thoughts of going on tour. I enjoyed watching it, but I just was bowling amateur stuff and making a little bit of money, and I was enjoying myself, so I just continued to do that. I got exempt in 2005, and so I started bowling in 2005, and didn't have much to any success whatsoever. So I did that for a couple years, and then basically figured tour wasn't for me. So I went home, got a job with a guy that let me bowl occasionally from now and time again. And I did a couple tournaments a year, and I just did that for 3 or 4 years. And then in about 2011, 2012, I decided to give it another go at full time. I figured I was ready for it, matured enough, knew what I was doing, and been on tour full time ever since. I thought I was a good bowler. I thought I was a great bowler. And I came out on tour and quickly realized I wasn't as good as I thought I was. So there was a lot to learn. And fortunately, the first few years on tour, Doug Kent took me under his wings and taught me a lot about ball layouts and all the technical side of it, basically where to eat, when to sleep, all that. He taught me how to basically live the tour life. And without him, I probably would have never made it. Bobby Belmont taught me how to run a pro shop. He taught me all the ins and outs of running the pro shop. This was all pre-resin and pre-technology of the bowling balls they are now. Doug Kent, on the other hand, when I came out on tour, taught me the different layouts, taught me what ball reaction was, what ball motion was. And, you know, before I just threw the ball and it was what it was. And Doug basically taught me to watch the ball, go through the pins and different layouts to do different tricks to the bowling ball. And I feel that having the proper ball in your hand is more important than how you throw the bowling ball. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you don't have the right ball in your hand, you can't out-bowl bad ball reaction. I think it's vital to have somebody that knows not only how to fit the hand, but how to lay out the ball, because without both of them, you're just guessing at what you're doing. And my pro shops, I feel like we provide the best of both. And I firmly believe that you need to go to a pro shop that can fit your hand properly and build an arsenal around that. We try to, as much as we can, educate the consumer, because we're not going to be able to drill every ball for them for the rest of their lives, especially the youth. So we try to explain them why we're making changes to their fit and why we're drilling a ball a certain way, in hopes that they can learn to build an arsenal themselves. And if there's a problem later down the road with their hand, they can probably dissect it themselves via pitch, via fit, because the hand's always going to change. So we try to explain the best we can, and hopefully we're learning them and teaching them along the way. So a lot of times I want to see their arsenal, and I look at it and I ask them, why do you have these? And they never can answer the question, because the pro shop guy said I needed it. And that's not how we do business. If you do not know your access point, you're just, it's like throwing darts at a dartboard blindfolded. You don't know what you're going to hit. Sometimes you're going to be right, but most of the time you're going to be wrong. So we want to teach them what all these terms mean, so that they can pick an arsenal out for themselves, and they know if they have a gap in a couple balls, they can fill it. A technical coach, when it comes to ball drilling and laying out bowling balls, is as important as a physical coach.
Everyone ready? Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus team up.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Epic stories.
This is the way.
The largest streaming TV library. And can't miss sports. Are better together.
Better for everyone.
Hey guys, JR Raymond back again at the training center here in TurboTech in Chesterfield, Michigan. Today I want to give you a quick tip on how to fix your loose interchangeable thumb. Stay tuned. So every so often I'll get a phone call or a message from somebody that says they lost their thumb. It just spun right out. They don't know where it went. Their ball came back. The thumb was gone. The mechanic couldn't find it. It got lost somewhere under the machine. And this actually can be prevented. As we know, the interchangeables are just plastic. You know, they're going to wear out, some faster than others. Some may last forever. Some may last only a couple of weeks, depending on how often you use it. I know a lot of players that go from ball to ball. Like me, when I'm practicing, I use multiple bowling balls, and I have just a couple of thumbs that I really, really like. So I'm switching those thumbs from ball to ball, you know, 100 times in a day. And all those changes are going to wear out that thumb. But when it wears out and you don't hear that click anymore, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. In fact, it doesn't mean it's bad. And so what we want to do is we want to prevent them from getting super loose and spinning out. Because every so often you get that thumb, or you put it in and you can feel it just start to move, maybe even in your backswing. You can feel it just start to spin just a little bit. But here, follow me and I will show you exactly how to tighten that up, because even though you don't hear that click, it doesn't mean that the thumb is bad. That just means you need to take preventative action to make sure it does not come out of your ball. So follow me and let's go take care of this. All right, so here we go. So we've got a thumb here, and this one's super loose. You can see if I hold this straight up, I can just turn it, and I can spin it basically just by touching it, and it turns. And you can barely hear it even click at all. I mean, this thing it's super loose. And that's what happens. If you were to really look at this, you can see that they kind of, the knobs on the end here, they kind of flatten out a little bit. So it takes away where the ramp is on the outer sleeve. It takes away that grab that pulls it and that holds it into place. So we have to take preventative action to make sure that this doesn't come undone. So what we want to do is we want everybody to realize that these thumbs are actually tapered from top to bottom. They are bigger at the top and smaller at the bottom. A little bit smaller at the bottom to make sure there's room down at the bottom where the mechanism sits, so that way nothing jams it up. Very rare instances, you will get some stuff underneath there that may jam it up. We just got to make sure the hole is clear and everything is out of there before we do anything with these thumbs. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it. For me, I obviously use the Turbo Slick Strips. These are the equivalent to like a black tape, the slick stuff, the really thin stuff. You're just going to take a piece of this, and keep in mind, again, remember, the thumbs are tapered from top to bottom. So the lower we start it, the less tight we're going to make it. The higher we start it, the tighter it's going to be, because it's going to have more drag on that spot. So I'm going to start by putting a piece of tape near the bottom to see if that's tight enough. Okay. So when I put this in, that is much tighter, but I guess I would like to see it just a pinch tighter. So I'm going to pull it back. You see, I'm still struggling to get it out now because it is much tighter, but I want it to be a little bit tighter, so that way I'm for sure 100% this thing will not spin out. It cannot spin out by the machine. It's not going to fall out of my hand. It's not going to do any of that stuff. We're going to raise this up. So instead of down here where we had it, we're going to put it up here, just make it a little bit tighter so you can feel or see. Yeah, there we go. Now that's really tight. So now I would actually probably have to use almost have to use a switcheroo to get that out. So it's up to you how tight you want it. Yeah, so now I've got it so tight, I got to use a switcheroo to get it out. So you can tighten these things up however you want to do it. It's up to you on how tight you want it. I don't think anybody's really going to want it that tight, because that'll probably hurt your thumb trying to get it in and out. But you can do whatever you want to do to make it tighter. So remember, the higher you put this tape, the tighter you're going to make the thumb. The lower you put the tape on the outside, the looser it's going to be. Now, if you have, say you only have a thumb that's only loose in one ball, you could probably try and just put one of these pieces of tape in the outer of the ball that's loose, because say you go from this ball to another ball and now this tape makes it too tight in another ball, you don't want that. So maybe just put this tape only in the ball that the thumb is loose in. See what I'm saying? So hopefully that works. All right, well, cool. So now we know how to make sure that we can take preventative steps to making sure that these inner thumbs don't come out of a bowling ball ever. If you're feeling that it's a little loose, this is more so for the bowlers. You bowlers need to pay attention. If you're using these, you need to pay attention to when you feel it start to be a little loose, and make sure you take action to make sure you don't lose your thumb. Because I know you don't want to go into that pro shop and have to drill another one, and pay the $20 or whatever it is that they're going to charge you just to drill another thumb. So be sure you don't lose your thumb and you take these steps. I'd much rather pay $5 for a pack of tape that's going to last me however many years to make sure my thumbs don't come out, rather than losing 3 or 4 thumbs and paying 20 bucks a piece trying to and drilling a new one every time I lose one. So just take these steps, make sure you are safe to go. Pro shops, if you have questions, or if anybody has questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at my Turbo email address, jrraymond@turbogrips.com, and I will get to them as soon as possible. But until next time, guys, I hope this helps. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and go to Turbo 201 Grips page and subscribe to theirs as well, as there'll be many more videos to come. But until next time, we will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.
Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus now bundled together. The greatest stories and characters, the largest streaming TV library, and exclusive sports. Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Get all 3 for only $12.99 a month.
The internet's on sale. High-speed access to shopping, browsing, streaming for only $39.99 per month. Super fast internet with no contracts and contact-free installation. On sale for just $39.99 per month.
Wow. What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again at the training center in TurboTech in Chesterfield, Michigan. Today we're going to do something just a little bit different. We want to look at ball reaction. So I'm going to show you what happens when your ball hooks early versus when it doesn't when we return. Yo guys, what's up? Before we get moving on this video, I got to introduce you to the Loft Mug Club. This is where you can get your exclusive mug. You would be a part of this club and have live access to a live podcast every single month, to where you can get questions answered, and we can talk about anything and everything that you want to talk about bowling related. So let's go ahead, get moving forward to this. Head over to lifestractioncontrol.com, join the mug club, and take a look at some of the cool merch that's on there available too. So let's raise our mugs for all those who have a lack of freaking talent like me. All right, so we're going to do some testing, and we're going to show you the difference between seeing the lanes front to back and seeing the lanes left to right. And the reason why most coaches and most of the best players talk about seeing the lanes front to back is because they want to see where the ball hooks front to back. It's easier to see it that way rather than trying to watch where the ball goes from left to right or where the ball hooks to the right. So seeing it front to back is a whole lot easier and a lot more beneficial to you. So you want to see when the ball hooks. So we're going to do a little example here of showing a few shots where the ball doesn't hook early, and then I'm going to take a towel to the lane and make it hook early, and look at the difference in ball reaction. I'm going to pull up Specto and show some data on there as well. A couple of different tests on there so you can look at it. We're only going to throw 1 or 2 shots each way, but make sure you pay attention to what the ball does and look at the Specto data to see how different it is when the ball hooks early versus when the ball doesn't hook early. So let's throw some shots. All right, 8 left. All right, so let's look at that test and see what that one does, see what that one did. So as we pull it up over here, I'm going to click save, end the session. I'll come over here to my rankings. This one here, I want to download, and we're going to take a look at this. So let's save it. Should pull up automatically somewhere. There it is. All right, so now we're looking at this, and you can see where the angle of the test was. So we total hook was 24.7 boards, launch 3.7, impact 5.3, speed loss in the heads less than a half of a mile an hour, lost almost a mile an hour in the mids, and then it lost all its energy down lane. So you can see this, RPM's not correct, but that's okay. Launch speed 17.3. Let's try to get it close again. We're going to come back over here. Let's close this out, or at least minimize it, so that way I can get this back up. Now we're going to do another ball test. Start that, clear and start session, do that. But what we're going to do is now I'm going to come over where the ball is crossing, and I'm going to take a towel to it. And I'm going to make this hook early. And there's nothing I can do about it other than try to throw it. Good. So now that's all dry right there. Doesn't take much. I guess I better not leave that there. Specto will look at it like a ball. So now we're going to throw a shot kind of in the same area. And watch the big difference. This probably isn't going to hit the head pin. Try to look at the same area. Very early hook. So that one hooked and went left right away. So that's a big difference there. So now we're going to try, and let's look at that data and see what that one did. According to this, we'll save it, end session, come back over, and let's look at it, see what it says. Download, save, see what pops up. So now total hook technically is 28.1. You can see it lost almost a half mile an hour more in the heads. It lost the same amount in the mids and less in the back. So it hooked that much earlier. And I know it doesn't, half a mile an hour doesn't seem like much, but that much in the front is going to make a big difference. And you can see the heads and the mids over here a whole lot more. The green is so much more than what it was before, where it was only, you know, this first front foot or so. So let's take it off and we're going to try it again. And we will try and do one more test. We're going to move left and see what it does. So now let's move our feet further left in that dry area and look at the difference. Okay, so move like 3 left, 3 and 1. So it goes through the same area. Early hook, Brooklyn. So you can see that it's strugglesome trying to get the ball through there. So that's why people start throwing it over it. Granted, this is probably an extreme example of this, but this is a daily deal that I deal with. Once the lanes start really breaking down on tour, you start to see this early hook and it forces you to go left and create these steep angles. And that's when you start to lose ball reaction. You start to lose angle, you start to lose pin action, carry, all that stuff. So the move is very difficult. It's either go over it to get your ball to start later, because you saw that one shot was actually pretty good through there. And then you have a couple of shots when it hooks early, all of a sudden, I don't have a way to get through there. So let's take a look at that data and see what the difference was on that. Save this, end session. Let's see what this one shows. Now you can see as I move left, the early hook gets to be a little bit more. So now I lose a full mile an hour in the heads, almost 2 full mile an hour in the front. So in the heads and the mids, you can see the early hook get more with this green right here. Now you can see everything changes and it just gets worse and worse. So this is what you deal with on a day-to-day basis when it comes to the PBA. So we try to make some small changes and it's not enough. You try to make big changes and it's too much. So it's almost like you have to grab super weak bowling balls. For me, this is how I see it. Super weak bowling balls to get through there, or you have to be able to get over it. I'm going to try one more shot, and I'm going to try to throw it over it and see what it does. So I'll go back to where I was before moving left off of it, and I'll just try to get some air under it, see what happens. See how much closer that one was. So that one actually tried to get there. I move a little bit left off that because I hit up on it when I, lofted a little bit, and you see a big difference there. And it actually tries to get down lane. So if you can learn anything from this, learn that seeing the lanes front to back is a whole lot better than trying to see the lanes side to side. Watch where your ball hooks in the front or in the middle. If it's not hooking enough, if you're not seeing enough motion down lane, you need to get it to hook sooner in the front rather than trying to get your hand around it to make it hook more in the back. So it's just kind of some of those things that you need to look at when you're out on the lanes and bowling a little bit. So I hope this helps. I hope this makes people see what the difference is between bowling ball reaction when you see a little bit of early hook and when you don't see early hook. So anyway, we'll see you guys later. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and go over to Turbo 2-in-1 Grips page and subscribe over there as well. And we will see you guys next time. What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from MRB Classic Pro Shop, where Mason Brantley is the pro shop operator, and it's a wonderful place where I get to A, make some videos, and B, drill a lot of my own stuff as well, and help customers and do some different things here too. But today we're going to talk a little bit about drilling oval thumbs. I had a couple of questions from some people on how I figure out what degree oval to drill and how to drill those ovals that I do in my thumbs. So stay tuned. All right, before we get going on this video about oval thumbs, please make sure to head over to patreon.com/lifetractioncontrol. And if you like everything you see here, you could always support the channel. There's a few different options there just to donate or to pledge towards the channel to help out with everything that we do to continue to be able to give you more information. If you want virtual lessons there, I have to give you a disclaimer. They're not immediate. I don't get to them immediately. It does take a little bit of time, so you have to be patient on that. But we do get to them eventually, and we do get it taken care of. So make sure to head over to patreon.com, support the channel, keep everything going there. You'll be able to have a couple different options. I'm going to give you some live, or not live, but exclusive footage at some of the events that I go to. You're going to have videos that only Patreons can see. So make sure to head over there and subscribe over there, pledge on there as well. And make sure to head over to bowlerx.com and support that channel and that page as well, and the website. Any of your bowling needs you need out there, make sure to head over there and get your bowling supplies from bowlerx.com. All right, welcome back. So we're going to try and figure out how to, first of all, find out what our oval angle is and what it needs to be. But disclaimer, my way doesn't have to be the right way. Okay, so if you have a different way of doing this, that's fine. I'm not telling you you're wrong, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just showing you how I do this, and I'm showing you in the most simplest form, so that way it's easy to repeat and duplicate, so you can do it for other people as well. Now, the reason I do it the way that I do is because I had very little success with the math portion of it. They always said that you could just do the math based on certain points of your hand to figure out what your oval was supposed to be. And every time I tried to do it that way, it actually never came out right, and it felt awful to me. But when I started doing it this way, which is just real simple, it came out proper because it's what I see, and I can see how what my hand sits in the ball. Okay, so a couple ways you can do this. The one way that I'm going to show you right now, figuring it out, is if you have a ball already drilled. This is the way we do it. This is the easiest way. If it's somebody who has a circle thumb and they need to create an oval, you're going to have them put their fingers in the ball. You're going to draw that center line right here, okay? And then you're going to have them literally put their fingers in the ball, just to the crease like they normally would. And you're going to have them put their thumb in the ball just to the first crease of the thumb. So that first bend mark right there. And all you're going to do is simply make a mark on the inside. So this part up here, you're going to make a mark directly on the inside. And what you can do is you can take a yellow pencil and kind of mark that inside part of their thumb to make it even easier. So that way, when you put their thumb in the ball, you can then look at that mark and then make a mark there. So then all you're going to do is you're going to take your Pro Suck and you're going to line it up. And you can do that on both sides. So it can be on both sides to make it easier to get that, to draw this line. You only need to draw the top side up here, going towards the fingers. So you draw that oval line all the way up to give yourself a line from the thumb hole, okay? So you can see that when my fingers sit in the ball this way, the side of my thumb fits directly down that line right there, okay? So now all we're gonna do to find out what angle that's at, so we're gonna take the center of the Pro Suck, put it in the center of the thumb hole, line it straight up and down with the center of your span, and come over here. And then you look at the degree here, then this, you can see there's degrees that go on this, and that's all you're going to do. You're going to center it up. You're going to look at this, and you're going to see 45 degrees. So at a 45-degree angle, basically, is what we're going to do. Now, we're going to take a look at these charts. Now, to actually drill the oval, I don't recommend that you drill a circle there and then try to work it out at 45 degrees because then you're going to get an awful lot of taper. But if you're looking for that taper feel, that's fine. If you want it to be smaller at the bottom or coned a little bit, you can do that. But I like the nice wide cut. I like thumb holes to where it's ovaled enough to where you really don't feel a ton on the side. You should barely feel the sides. It should be more feel off front to back than side to side. You need the side to side to be able to rotate and do whatever you want with your hand. What happens, and the reason why I say people should be using oval thumbs, most people, not everybody needs to use an oval thumb, but most people have a very flat thumb or an oval thumb. If you look at mine, it is very flat from one side to the next. So I have to use an oval thumb. If I were to drill a circle thumb based on the size front to back, which is what they always measure from, or I'm sorry, from side to side, which is what they measure from, I'm going to take and find a thumb hole, and sure, it's going to fit like this, and it's going to get the side to side, but then I'm going to have a ton of room front to back, and I have to jam a bunch of tape in there, which essentially you're creating an oval by jamming tape in there anyway. So why, or if you start with a fairly round thumb, and then all of a sudden the guy comes back into the shop or the gal comes back into the shop and says, oh, now it's getting too tight. Can you open it up? And you take a buzzer to it. Now you're opening it up the whole way. And now it's getting big enough side to side, but too big front to back. And that's generally what happens. And that's where a lot of squeezing comes from in most people's bowling ball, is because of that, because they open it up to fit and now it's too big front to back, but it's good side to side. So they were getting blisters and stuff on the sides. Well, now they're getting blisters on the back because now they have to claw at it this way and put this on the back of the hole, and now you're getting little blisters on the back side of the thumb. We just want to eliminate that. We want to eliminate that by creating the oval. So you're going to take the oval chart. When you drill the ball, obviously you're going to set the drill bit up directly in the center or wherever you draw your line for the thumb hole. Wherever that first cut is, that's going to be your span. Okay, so even though a cut is going to go higher than that line, that doesn't matter, because where that centerpiece hits, that first cut is going to be your span. So you're going to go based on the chart that you can see here. And like for me, for the 45 degrees, I'm going to do multiple cuts at 22 and 22, because I always use the decimals. I always use it at thousandths of an inch. So that way, like my first, so my angle or my pitch in this is a quarter forward and 0 left to right. So each time I'm going to be moving according to what the chart says, the ball, I'm going to be moving the ball. So horizontally 22 degrees or 0.022 degrees or whatever you want to call it, 022 inches. And then I'm going to be moving it also. I'm going to move the ball down. So I'm going to be moving it up this way and cutting higher up here at the 45-degree mark, 022 inches as well. And I'm going to do that about, I think it's 5 cuts for me. So I usually do 2 cuts to the top, 3 cuts to the bottom, to give enough room side to side. And then I'll bevel the top just a little bit and it'll be good to go. So finding the degree, you can do it a couple of different ways. If a ball, now the hard part is actually finding the degree that the oval needs to be if it's somebody who doesn't already have a bowling ball. Most times you're not fitting somebody for an oval who has never bowled before. Generally, you're going to just, you're going to drill the ball with a circle thumb to get them used to even holding onto the ball and throwing the ball. And then when they come back in and they start buying a little bit higher end equipment and they start getting better at the game, that's when you can start adjusting and making ovals. So at that point, they already have a bowling ball with finger grips in them. So then you can just have them put their fingers in, put the tip of their thumb in and measure and make the mark on the side to side. Okay. So, and again, remember back about the turn grips, you got to have the grips turned to here, because when you set your grips in or set your fingers in, your thumb should just set in the hole, because my hand is actually coming this way on the ball. So it's coming here, and then my thumb would just set in the ball here. Now, if I put my fingers in up and down this way, now my hand sits this way, and now I have to move my thumb this way. So just one of those tips, make sure the finger grips are actually facing the angle of what their fingers are supposed to be, and they're not directly up and down with your center grip, because the grips are not a perfect circle. They're actually oval, or if you're using the lift side, they're still a little bit oval and they have that flat spot. You want the flat spot on the fingers, not on the side of the fingers. But anyway, finding that oval is pretty simple for people going this way. And this is how I do it, because I can literally look at their hand and see how their hand goes from the fingers to the thumb, and I can make that mark and get it close, or really, really close to creating that oval. Now, measuring side to side, you may need to get like calipers or something to figure out the difference, the actual measurement from side to side on their thumb, or you can just take your normal tools and figure out, a size where their hand just fits into it, and it actually goes in. So like this would be too tight for me. Obviously, I would go a size up to 2, and now that would probably be a good starting point where I can just barely feel the pressure on the sides, and then I can open it up as I need to, a little bit side to side. So hope this helps you guys a little bit. If you're somebody who has a circle thumb and you haven't drilled the oval thumb yet for yourself, make sure to at least take a look at it. Maybe if you have switch grips, you can drill another switch grip thumb, and you can try and make it to where you can try an oval thumb. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I'm not saying you have to have an oval thumb. I'm just saying it's helped an awful lot of people improve on these types of things, or in bowling, because their feel gets that much better. So go check it out. Hit your pro shop guy up, or if you're a pro shop guy already and you don't have an oval thumb yourself, it may be something worth looking into. You never know; it could change your feel. Or if it's somebody who's been struggling bowling, you may just need to make that little bit of a change. You may need to make a feel change or a fit change to make things just a little bit different, to change your mental state of the game, so that way you can. Usually, when you feel something a little bit different, it makes everything change and everything gets a little bit better. So hope this helps. If not, sorry, but this is just how I do it. This is how I look at it. And I know it sounds dumb, stupid, easy to do it this way, but this is the simplest way that I see to do it. I'm not saying any other way is wrong. I'm just telling you, this is how I see it. If I can see my fingers in the ball, or somebody's fingers in the ball, and watch them putting their thumb into the ball, or at least to the tip of the ball, I can see what their oval angle is, and I can make that oval based on that and that chart that you saw earlier. So anyway, I'm out of here. Hope this helps. We'll see you guys later. Until next time, take care.
What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from my car, because unfortunately I did not advance in the second day at the tournament this weekend. But we're going to talk a little bit about the tournament and some lane patterns. Should we be using easier patterns, or should we be using tougher patterns in tournaments? I don't know. Let's talk about it when I get back. Stay tuned. All right, what's up, guys? So went down to Collegiate, Ohio, which is basically Cincinnati, and bowled a tournament that pays $4,000 to win. It was a $100 entry, basically, or $120 the first entry, and then $100 after, because you could re-enter. There were multiple squads throughout the week. I think there were 6 total squads on Friday, squads on Saturday, and then the finals were Sunday. The format was you bowl 4 games, and then the top 30, it ended up being the top 38 ended up qualifying for Sunday, which it took 950 to make the finals in this event, which is almost 240 a game, which is kind of, I mean, that's a really high scoring pace for 38 guys to average 240. That's tough, So no, you have to put up some numbers. And then the format for the next day was everybody comes back and the scores are dropped. And the reason scores are dropped is because everybody bowled different squads. So not everybody really had the opportunity to technically bowl on the same thing. So it'd be tough to carry the scores over when not everybody bowled on the same squad. So scores are dropped. You bowl 4 more games and you move on, and you both, then they cut to the top 20 of those 38. And unfortunately I made the first round. I bowled 10-22 with 8-11 my first 3 games to qualify. And I found a way. I had a halo, the halo solid. I found a way to get the ball to go through the pins. I was able to play straighter in the track area, right around that 8, 9, 10 area. So I do that because we don't know what the track is. According to some, it's 6 through 10, and then according to a lot of other people, the modern track is more 10 to 15. So who knows? Who cares? Whatever, it is what it is. So I started right around 8, 9, 10 at the arrows, and I stayed there pretty much the whole day, and was able to just basically rifle it up that spot because there was so much hook to the right and so much hang to the left. It was one of those typical, it was like a league pattern. It was one of those typical miss a little bit to the left and you 2-pin all day, miss a little to the right, and it's big 4. So you kind of had to throw some really good shots, or you had to really match up. And unfortunately for me, I really matched up. When I missed a little to the right with the halo, it didn't overhook. It kind of blended it and got back to the pocket and struck. And then when I missed a little bit in, it was a strong enough ball that it still got through the pins. So that was kind of a good thing. But I certainly didn't have that game 2, 3, and 4 today. With game 1, I was able to do the exact same thing today, and I bowled 279. I threw it all over the place though, but I had the right ball in my hand. Then I moved to the next pair, and all of a sudden they were snot tight. Like I couldn't get the ball to hook. I started moving right, and that's when I got that over under really bad. All of a sudden my ball didn't match up, so I missed a little bit to the right and overhooked, missed a little bit to the left and never hooked. So I bowl 190, and then I switched to, throughout that I'm trying to make changes because I'm like, I just bowled basically 300 over for 5 games. Why in the world would any other ball work? So I tried to make that ball work, just making minor hand tweaks. Bowl 190, not good. So I'm like, okay, well, obviously the hand tweaks aren't going to work, so I got to get into a different ball. So I grabbed the Halo Vision, which would maybe give me a little bit more pop, maybe blend a little bit more. I don't know. And it worked a little bit better. So, and I bowled 220, but I just still, the wrap 10s, the flat 10s, the swish 7s, they were right there. And then the last game, it was all the same thing. I used the Halo and the Halo Vision throughout the game, trying to get them to strike, and I couldn't put more than a double together, and I bowled 2-0. So I bowled 907, and it took 929 to make the next round. So just couldn't find a way to get it done. And that leads me into the question of, should we be bowling in tournaments when the scores are super high, or should we be trying to bowl on them when they're tough? Now, here's the thing. A lot of people who bowl league and who are traditionalists are going to say, well, the cream's going to rise to the top, and the best bowler is always going to win anyway. No, that's not true. Not true at all. If there's enough games, yes. If there's enough games, you start to see breakdown. You start to see the patterns break down and do different things. Then sure, you can definitely make that argument that eventually somebody's going to have to make enough adjustments, and they're going to be the one that wins. But when they're like this, and nothing, again, I got to put this disclaimer out there so that way people don't think I'm trying to bash on this tournament. Nothing wrong with this tournament. It is what it is. I don't think he meant to make them this easy. He announced it was going to be a 40-foot pattern with 25 mils, and it wasn't going to be hard, and it wasn't going to be easy. So he meant to make them in the middle ground. So unfortunately for the tournament, or for the event, or for my mind, I guess, I don't know what you want to say there. They were just a little bit softer. They were a little easy, and it took some big numbers to get through there. So when it gets like that, it turns into who can carry the best, who has the right ball in their hand, and who can create the most margin for error by having the right ball in their hand. And even when you have the margin for error, that doesn't mean you're going to strike a lot. And if you're not striking a lot, you can't keep up with the field. You're not making cuts, and you don't have a chance to win. So even the person who's making the best shots doesn't always win. And that's kind of the problem with some of these really easy patterns. Now, when you get into the really hard patterns where they're dang near impossible, those are a problem too. They definitely don't need to be super stupid hard where they're dead flat and, rev rate dominates and shot making kind of, you don't know whether your ball's going to hook or not hook, so you're just hoping for the good breaks, and again, it turns into whoever has the right ball in their hand that can get them to the pocket consistently and can bowl 210 every game ends up winning. It just, that again, it goes back, you bring in a bunch of luck there. You got to carry the marginal hits, you got to carry the Brooklyns. Whereas when you're bowling on something easy, you got to carry the marginal hits, and you got to carry the off hits, so it turns into basically the same thing. It's just two different sides of the spectrum. So I'm not saying, I think we need to find a middle ground. That's where I've always kind of stood on the whole thing. I used to be the guy that was like, man, make them as hard as possible. Let's bring shot making into it. But now with the equipment the way it is, the equipment has gotten so much stronger and so much more dominant in the game that it's become too much about, having the right ball in your hand than the person who's out there making shots. And I know people are going to disagree with me, and that's okay. It's just from my experience, what I've seen on a lot of these events, the goal of, tournament directors, which again, disclaimer, I think this was his goal, was to try to find a middle ground, and the building is just such a high friction building that it just didn't allow it. It just didn't allow him to be very tough. So, but I think the goal of most times is to make a middle ground, to make them to where they're not too hard and they're not too easy. They make it to where you have to make minor hand changes. You have to make the adjustments. You have to make ball adjustments. You have to do all the right things to stay in play and to knock down pins. And, that 220 is a good score. That's kind of the goal. And I think like Kegel and USBC and those companies, they do a good job with trying to create that most times. Now, when you get to when you bowl on that 40-foot flat pattern and everybody just gets left immediately because they're trying to create hold, and that's a whole different other subject there. They turn into a mess, and then it becomes whoever has the highest rev rate and whoever can get the ball to go through the pins, that type of thing. So anyway, I'm in that firm belief that I think we need to find a middle ground on these events, on all events. I guess it's okay if you want to run a sweeper here and there and they're on a dead China pattern, like that, I'd be all for it. But I don't know that they should ever, I don't know that any tournament with any value, or at least not very many tournaments with any value, should it be contested on something, as easy as like a league pattern or something like that, just because of, you kind of want to keep the integrity into the game and kind of keep the integrity into the sport a little bit. And there's always going to be those traditionalists who say, well, it doesn't matter what the pattern is, you still got to make the best shots, and again, I'm politely going to disagree with that. I've just, all too often, I've seen people who they just happen to have the right ball in their hand, throwing it all over the place, and they just strike, and they just never stop striking. So, it is what it is. So then the argument becomes, well, then you need to figure out what the right ball is. Exactly, but it shouldn't be about the balls. It should be about the person throwing it, So I don't know. It's just the way I feel about it. It's just the way I see it. It is what it is. It's not a big deal. All in all, I actually felt pretty good about this event because I don't strike very well when they're easy like that. And this weekend, I actually found a way to put some strikes together. So that's a little bit of a confidence boost there. Stinks to not make it very far in the event, but to put strikes together like that and actually feel like I could compete or feel like I had a chance to move on was pretty cool. It's frustrating when you sit there and you hit the pocket 10 times a game for 2-0 or for 2-teen. That's super frustrating, especially when you're changing balls 3 times and still hitting the pocket and you still can't get them to fall. That's just how it goes sometimes. So unfortunately, that's the way the game's played when we get the recreation level or some events that have recreation type patterns on them. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. What do you guys think? You think it's okay? You think there should be more events on league patterns to where they're just easy and everybody can strike on them, or do we need to make them super hard, or do we need to find a middle ground? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe. And again, I don't want to turn this into an argument, and I don't want anybody to think this is, me complaining. It's not me complaining. It's just me making a point. It's me trying to just express my opinion on the situation. I'm not saying that I'm right. I feel that I'm right, but of course, nobody would have an opinion if they didn't think they were right. So it's just how I feel about it. If you disagree, you disagree, and that's okay. We can disagree. That's not a big deal. But let me know how you feel in the comments below. And until next time, we will see you guys later. Take care.
Hey guys, JR Raymond back again at the training center in TurboTech in Chesterfield, Michigan. And we just got done talking about how there is no right way for your fit to feel. It's completely up to you. But we're going to dive into this just a little bit more when we get back. All right, guys, welcome back. So we talked a little bit about fit and how there is no right way to be fitted because everybody's got a different opinion. Every pro shop is going to say either you're fit right or you're fit wrong based on what they believe is correct or incorrect. And that's kind of an issue that we have around the world of bowling right now is there is no black or white when it comes to fitting. So we talked about how it's completely up to you, which it is. If you're comfortable and you can do what you want to do with the ball, then that's all on you. If you like the way your ball fits, even if you blister, I mean, if you want to stick with it, stick with it. But if you're looking to get rid of the blisters and fix those little issues that may be causing you to have 1 or 2 errant shots a game, then let's talk. So what we're going to look at here, this is a ball that used to fit me back in the day. I say back in the day, and it was probably like a couple months ago before I changed my fit when we talked about that offset thumb. I had an issue, you can see here, I had an issue with a burn that came across my thumb right here. And it's getting faint. It's getting real faint right now. And a lot of it is because of the way my ball was pitched. The hole size wasn't right. My oval wasn't quite right. So I needed to make some changes. So now this was what the old thumb was. We're going to look at this when we go front to back. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to try to set it up so you can. Left to right, we're looking at 0 pitch, which is what I've always been. Now we're going to look at front to back. So we'll go this way. It was right at about an 1/8 reverse. So that little bit of reverse, which was causing my thumb, I was going this way with my thumb, causes me to squeeze down this way with my thumb. And that's where that burn comes. So what we need to do is we need to pitch towards that burn and pitch it more this way into the ball. So that way I can put more pressure up here rather than down here. So now I have that squeeze this way. And when we're talking about squeezing, there's a proper and improper way of squeezing. This one's not so black and white. This one we're talking about, you don't want to grip it as if you're going this way. You don't want to do it that way, because then when you release the ball, you have to release with your thumb. And if you're not doing it the same way every time, it's going to be different every single time. What we want to do is we want to teach to push the nail to the back side of the ball. So that way when you get to the bottom of the swing right here, the ball just comes right off your hand. If you're gripping this way, you have to let go of the ball. Okay, so this is more consistent if you're squeezing with the back side of your thumb on here than the other side. So when we're talking about fit and your span and stuff like that, most people are going to have you lay your thumb in and lay your fingers across. Now, the first thing you notice is the center line. If you look inside there, that center line goes right through the middle knuckle of my middle finger. This is where that whole offset came from. So I have to drill my pitches based on a different center line over here in order to get it right. So that's changed quite a bit. So in reality, my thumb should be over here. So you can see that line up just like that. My thumb should be over here rather than here. Okay. So, and the reason for that is that whole offset theory is when you put your hand in the ball this way. Now you have to force your thumb to line up to the straight of your thumb, because if you put your thumb in like this, you have to force your thumb to get in straight off that straight line. So pitching it off of a different line from your fingers to your thumb this way actually is a little bit better off. But we'll dive into that. I'm going to redo that offset video here in a little bit, and I'll show you a little bit more about that. But for now, people are going to lay across, and what they do is they like to look and they like to see where this part of the grip or your hole, if you don't have grips, lines up with your finger. And usually they want to see it somewhere in between the middle of both knuckles, probably a little bit closer to the first knuckle, but somewhere in there is proper according to the books and what they say. So if you lay your fingers across there and you are not in that range somewhere, you may want to look at it. And again, it's a comfort thing for you. You may be able to fit and feel okay with the stretched fingers like this. If your fingers come across just straight to that knuckle, it may be okay for you, and that's fine. If you're not getting any blisters or any bruising on the backside of your nails, it's not a big deal. But if you do have issues, like say on your thumb, for me, it was here, I had to pitch towards it. So I had to pitch my thumb towards that hole. Now, if I have issues here on my thumb, I'm going to then pitch it this way, and it's going to push towards the inside of the thumb to take the pressure off here. Opposite over here. If I have issues on this side, I'm going to pitch it this way, So those are just some of the issues and some of the key points to look at when we're talking about how your ball fits. So if you run into any of those issues with your hand, take a look at that first. One thing I will say is I want you, what you are looking for, in my opinion, you're looking for when you're standing on the approach and you're ready to go, your hands on the ball, the feeling should be, whoa, I don't think this thing's going to come off my hand. And then when you go to release the ball, it just flies off your hand. So you should feel nice and tight in the ball. You shouldn't feel like you're going to lose it. I'm okay with you feeling like you're going to hang up as long as you don't actually hang up. That means that the ball, the thumb hole is tight enough in your hand to where it's not going to cause any pressures. If it is causing pressures, look at some of these examples and try to make those changes a little bit as you go. So stay tuned for the next part. We're going to dive into this. The third part is going to go back into the offset, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So stay tuned for that. If you have found the key item that I was looking for, comment below, and you better hurry up because I am going to give some prizes away to those first few people who find it and comment. So until next time, guys, stay tuned for part 3. We will see you guys later. Take care. What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from Classic Lanes here inside Rochester Hills in Michigan. We're going to work on a few things when it comes to practice. I want to show you some practice techniques and the things that make me a little bit better spare shooter when I get back. Stay tuned. All right, so we're going to try a little bit different technique shooting spares. It's not going to be low ball, but we're going to throw a strike shot with our spare ball and then make whatever we leave. We're going to do that a couple times, and we're going to purposely try to lose some different things in order to work on where we struggle spare-wise. All right, so what I want to do, I'm not actually going to shoot this spare. What I want to do is because I know I struggle at the 3-6-10, I want to visualize that the 3-pin is there still. So I'm going to line up to shoot the 3-6-10, and I'm going to be trying to hit the left side of that 6-pin to make the 3-6-10. Okay? I'm going to line up, visualize it, draw the line back, and go. I think I might have missed it. So I think I might have missed the 3-pin to the right. Maybe, I'm not sure, but we're going to try again, or at least something. We're going to do something different. So now I'm going to try, I know I struggle with the washout, so I'm going to try and wash out or at least leave the head pin there. And I guess you could shoot it at a full rack too, but I like to see something a little bit closer to what you're actually shooting at so you can visualize a little better. All right, so now I can at least pretend the 10 pin's there and now hit the left side of that head pin, try to hit the left side of the head pin to shoot it over into the 10. Because these are the areas that I struggle at. So 3-6-10 and the washout. So I'm going to continue to work on these things. I got to hit the left side of that head pin. And that's bad. That was bad. All right, so I got to make an adjustment there. This is a new thumb. This is with the new oval. I went to 28 degrees from 25. Originally, I was at 44 down to 25. 25 wasn't quite right, so I went to 28. So now this ball's clear in my hand super, super fast. And it's changing my angles shooting at spares. So again, I'm going to try to wash out so I can shoot that again. Just like that. So now I can pretend that the head pin or the 10 pin's there. And we're gonna make an effort to get the ball to the left side of the head pin. So I'm gonna change the way I shoot this a little bit. This is what you should be doing too. You should be making adjustments on the lanes based on, you know when you throw a pretty good shot, if the ball's not going in the direction you want it to. Don't just try to force the ball to go in that direction. Try to adjust your feet and your eyes to get it to go in that direction. Now I'm going to go this way. I'm going to actually go 1 and 1 left. Try to get to the left side of the head pin. There we go. So that would have made the washout. That's what we're looking for. All right. So if you get bored of doing that when you're throwing your strike ball, trying to leave stuff, you can just play the low ball game. So low ball is you're trying to take just the 10 off and then just the 7 off. We're trying to get as few pins as you possibly can without throwing them in the gutter. So I'm going to shoot at the 10 pin first. See if I can't get just the 10 pin. Nope, that's a pretty good shot though. Okay, so now what I can do, I got options. So now I can either work on the 3-6-10 or I can work on that washout again. So because I can go to the left side of the head pin, or I can go to the right side of that 3 pin. I'm gonna shoot the 3-6-10 because I think I missed it that one time. So now I'm gonna readjust my feet to make the spare. Just like that. Hit the right side of that 3 pin. So now I know where to stand for the washout. Now I know where to stand for the 3-6-10. So it's as if I'm shooting straight at spares all over again because now the spare ball feels different. It's coming off my hand in a different spot. So I have to readjust how I shoot at things. So now we're gonna go the other way. I'm gonna shoot at the 7 pin. And try to take just the 7 pin off. Just like that. Okay. All right, now we got to test. See if we can get just the 10 pin. Just the 10 pin. So I'm going to adjust how I shot at that, just for giggles. Move my feet one left to see if I can't get the ball going further right. Oh, I stink. Couldn't quite get it done. That's okay. That's the idea. So one more time. Let's pretend that I'm no good at the bucket. I'm gonna try and leave the bucket. Let me see if I can leave the bucket. There we go, just like that. All right, so we left the bucket. Now we got to shoot the bucket. And what I want to do is I want to split the 4-5. I want the ball to go directly in between them. And I want to hit the 2 pin directly in the face. All right. Coming off my hand faster than normal, so I'm going to go one on the left off. Oh, might have still made it. It would have probably kicked off the wall. More than likely, it probably would have left the 8 pin there. So, but you get the idea. That's what we're trying to do. So I'm going to have to make another adjustment.
What's up, guys? JR Raymond here. Today, I'm going to teach you how to find the dual angles on a ball that's already been drilled. Stay tuned. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Tonight is another podcast from the Mug Club, the Loft Mug Club. If you haven't signed up, head over to lifestractioncontrol.com, get yourself a cool mug, and win some prizes. Give away a free bowling ball every single time we do a podcast. We have one tonight, and we have one Thursday. That's 2 more chances to win a bowling ball. Plus, we give away other cool prizes. Like I've got a Dexter shirt here that is pretty neat. DexterBowling.com with a Dexter shoe I'm going to give away. I got an accessory package with some tape, a knife, and some fit tape inside with a mini accessory case, and then other cool prizes like, turbo double totes, rock tape, and everything else. So make sure you sign up, and we will see you guys tonight for the podcast. All right, well, I got good news and I got bad news. The good news is we're making a video on how to figure out what your dual angle is on a ball that's already drilled. So that's going to allow us to figure out what each ball has for dual angles, and we can write them down and figure out exactly the layouts we have and then the exact layouts we might need to fill some holes and fill some gaps that we have in our bag. So
The bad news is I've only got a pencil that doesn't draw very good on bowling balls. So this is a chalk pencil. I don't have a wax pencil. I'm on the road. I didn't have a wax pencil with me, so I grabbed the next best thing. Couldn't find a wax pencil. Probably could have if I went to Home Depot or something, but oh well, that's okay. So hopefully I'll just make some marks. Hopefully you can see me making marks, and you can just kind of either imagine if you can't see the lines, or just kind of follow along a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from my pin through my CG and down. Now, this is a symmetrical ball. If it was an asymmetrical ball, you would ignore the CG and you would draw from your pin all the way through your PSA or the mass bias, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but this one doesn't have a mass bias, so we're going to draw it straight through here, all the way down through the CG. We get our first line there, so straight down there. Now we need to find our center line, so the center of our grip, and we need to draw it over to wherever your positive axis is. So draw that center line all the way up, and this is where my center of my grip is. If you make sure you have your Pro Shop operator, measure that out for you, or if you are a Pro Shop guy yourself, obviously you would just measure that out. And then you measure over to the distance of what your positive axis is for that first number. My first number here is going to be 4 7/8. So I'm going to draw this line over 4 7/8 over, make a mark on it so I know where to go up. And I'm going to set my prosec back on that line, right where I made that mark, center it up, and I'm going to draw it all the back and forth, all the way down. Make a nice line there. So this is going to end up being your vertical axis line, or your VAL. Okay. Now I need my second number. So I'm 4 7/8. Now I got to figure out my second number is 1.5 inches up. So I'm going to make a mark at 1.5 inches. So that is actually where my positive axis is. Okay. So now that's my positive axis. So now the next line we need to draw is from the pin through that positive axis. So now we can take and center this up, that positive axis, and draw it straight down. Just like that. Okay. Probably can't see the line very well, but that's all right. So now we have all the lines that we need, so we can figure it out. This is going to be the first angle. These two lines create the first angle, and these two lines create the second angle. And then obviously we have pin to positive axis to create, the flare potential. So all we're going to do is now we're going to line up, and we're going to put the 0 on those prosec that we have, and we're going to put it right on the pin, lined up with this all the way through your CG or your mass bias, depending on if it's symmetrical or asymmetrical. And then you're going to make a mark. This is right at about 75 degrees. Okay, so we know our first angle is 75 degrees. Okay, so now let's measure the distance from the pin to our positive axis. The pin to the positive axis is 4 1/4. Okay, so we're 75 by 4 1/4. And now we need the second angle. So now we're going to take that 0 again, and we're going to put the 0 right on your positive axis point, and we're going to have the center of the prosec going through the pin. Now we look at that vertical axis line that we drew and check it out to see where that crosses at the angle, and that's right at 45 degrees. So we know we have a ball that's laid out 75 by 4 1/4 by 45. Okay, so now we can take and write that down and figure out where this ball fits. If it doesn't quite give us the reaction that we're looking for, maybe we can drill another one, and we can put a different layout on it based on the dual angles. Or if we love this ball and we want to get another one, and this one's getting oil soaked and not quite reacting how we want, we can put that exact same layout on it without having any issues. So make sure you guys pay attention to the numbers that you have on your bowling balls and see where gaps are, and see if you can't fill them with different layouts, rather than always thinking you need a different ball to fill that gap. Layouts can mean a big, big deal when it comes to ball reactions. So hope this helps you guys figure out what layout you have in your bowling balls. Until next time, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and we will see you guys later for the next video. And for those of you who are in the podcast tonight, make sure to sign in to the podcast. The Mug Club podcast goes on tonight. If you're not a member of the podcast, make sure to head over to lifestractioncontrol.com and sign up for the Mug Club, and you will get access to all of the podcasts coming up from now and through the future. So until next time, guys, we'll see you guys later.
Hey guys, JR Raymond here back at TurboTech inside the training center in Chesterfield, Michigan. There's one question that we get asked all the time, and it's the biggest question that I'm sure all coaches get asked. How do we increase rev rate? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it here in a minute. All right, so talking about rotation, what we need to do is we need to figure out a way to get the ball off your thumb much faster than what your fingers are, while also creating a yo-yo type reaction. We're going to talk about the yo-yo in a second. But I have tape on this ball at the top of the fingers so you can see the ball rotate down lane. And I'm going to show you an example of what most people do. Okay, and then I'll go back and I'll show you an example of what should happen, and we'll try to slow them down and see if you can see them. So if I'm here with the release, what most people do is they release both fingers and thumb basically at the same time. So you get more of like a knuckle type of reaction. You can see how slow that ball is turning down lane. Now what we want to do is we want to try to get our thumb out faster, so well before the fingers come out of the ball, and then see how much it rotates. We're not going to use wrist action yet. So for thumb, fingers. You see how much faster that one's rotating. And that's with just a firm wrist. So then the third step is including the wrist action like a yo-yo. When you come through, watch the tape spin. Much faster. Now it's totally up to you how fast you want to do it. The practice is going to be just going over and over again, trying to get your thumb out as quick as possible, and then just really rotating your fingers through it and getting your thumb out fast. So when we're talking about the yo-yo wrist, we're talking about how your wrist is at the bottom of the swing. A lot of the most powerful guys, they have a cupped release, they have a cupped wrist, and they don't stay that way. They don't get the spin on the ball by staying cupped and coming straight through it and lifting with their fingers. They don't want to do that. In today's game, lifting with your fingers is not a good thing. What you actually want to do is have a cupped release and then uncup your release at the end, breaking through with your thumb already out of the ball and then having your fingers roll through. So it's that yo-yo. So it's like you ever use a yo-yo back in the day. It's one of those things where you go up and down, just like that, cupping to uncupping, cupping to uncupping. So it's rotating through with your fingers all the way around the ball. Okay, so what I would suggest is getting a small basketball like this, maybe even a football, to where you can get your hand and just practice the cupping to uncupping, just doing that over and over again to create that type of ball reaction or that type of ball roll. So then when you get onto the lanes, you can take your actual ball and try to get your thumb to release as quick as possible while your fingers roll through it. And it's just, once you do it once, you'll completely get it and you'll be like, I got it now. I'll be able to do this forever. But it would be literally just walking up to the lane and then just trying to put as much spin on it as you can. That will increase for you, and then eventually you'll just have to get used to it and try to understand how to control it. But that is always the one question we get asked the most is, how do I increase rev rate? Hopefully these little tricks can help you to understand it a little bit better, and if it does, let me know. If it doesn't, shoot me an email and we'll see if we can't help you out a little bit. But make sure to subscribe to this channel, and we will have more videos out on trying to help as many bowlers as possible. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back. And I am here to tell you about the premier event in Detroit in 2019, Collegiate Expo.
It's featured right before Junior Gold. We're going to be at Imperial Lanes right here in Metro Detroit, and we can't be happier to be right back in our backyard. Detroit is the mecca of bowling, and this event will fill fast. Entries opened in 2018 in December. It's filling fast, so make sure to get over to the website, www.turbogrips.com, and get your kids signed up. If you're a youth yourself, you need to go tell your parents and get signed up right away. You get a plethora of coaches to help you, including me. We teach you about college bowling. We teach you about everything you need to know to become the best bowler you could possibly be. It is a perfect tune-up for Junior Gold. And for us as coaches, it's an amazing time because we get to spend so much time teaching the future of our sport. And you guys get to go on to college and learn and figure everything out and how to be the best bowlers and how to be the best people. So make sure you go get signed up and check out this video I got for you right now.
My most fun event to help with. So relaxing, like just being with the kids. They want to listen, they want to learn. I feel like we can help them with questions and all the terrifying things that are going to come in the next 4 or 5 years. Just to have a resource that they feel knows what they're telling them, and not just from parents, helping them, but somebody who's been through the exact same thing, choosing a college, finding a coach, and just experiencing everything that goes with this age of bowling.
Turbo had this idea that we could do something much like the NFL Combine does, which is we can bring players in, showcase them. Coaches from all over the country could come and look at these players and offer opportunities that were heretofore only limited to their particular regions. Coaches in the West only saw players in the West, coaches in the East saw players in the East. And this opportunity was created to have a set of seminars, clinics, and a competition that will allow all these players and all these coaches to come into contact.
Here at Collegiate Expo, we have brought these seminars together now that include everybody in the building, not only the students, but for the coaches at high school and collegiate level and the parents.
I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
Well, I'm going to be there.
I'll be there.
I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be helping the kids get better to learn the sport of bowling and be able to play on different patterns and know their equipment.
It's a great learning experience, but you also have a lot of fun.
It's the greatest youth bowling experience you could have in the entire country.
Hey guys, JR Raymond here back at TurboTech inside the training center in Chesterfield, Michigan. There's one question that we get asked all the time, and it's the biggest question that I'm sure all coaches get asked. How do we increase rev rate? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it here in a minute. All right, so talking about rotation, what we need to do is we need to figure out a way to get the ball off your thumb much faster than what your fingers are, while also creating a yo-yo type reaction. We're going to talk about the yo-yo in a second. But I have tape on this ball at the top of the fingers so you can see the ball rotate down lane. And I'm going to show you an example of what most people do. Okay, and then I'll go back and I'll show you an example of what should happen, and we'll try to slow them down and see if you can see them. So if I'm here with the release, what most people do is they release both fingers and thumb basically at the same time. So you get more of like a knuckle type of reaction. You can see how slow that ball is turning down lane. Now what we want to do is we want to try to get our thumb out faster, so well before the fingers come out of the ball, and then see how much it rotates. We're not going to use wrist action yet. So for thumb, fingers. You see how much faster that one's rotating. And that's with just a firm wrist. So then the third step is including the wrist action like a yo-yo. You come through, watch the tape spin. Much faster. Now it's totally up to you how fast you want to do it. The practice is going to be just going over and over again, trying to get your thumb out as quick as possible, and then just really rotating your fingers through it and getting your thumb out fast. So when we're talking about the yo-yo wrist, we're talking about how your wrist is at the bottom of the swing. A lot of the most powerful guys, they have a cupped release, they have a cupped wrist, and they don't stay that way. They don't get the spin on the ball by staying cupped and coming straight through it and lifting with their fingers. They don't want to do that. In today's game, lifting with your fingers is not a good thing. What you actually want to do is have a cupped release and then uncup your release at the end, breaking through with your thumb already out of the ball and then having your fingers roll through. So it's that yo-yo. So it's like you ever use a yo-yo back in the day. It's one of those things where you go up and down, just like that, cupping to uncupping, cupping to uncupping. So it's rotating through with your fingers all the way around the ball. Okay, so what I would suggest is getting a small basketball like this, maybe even a football, to where you can get your hand and just practice the cupping to uncupping, just doing that over and over again to create that type of ball reaction or that type of ball roll. So then when you get onto the lanes, you can take your actual ball and try to get your thumb to release as quick as possible while your fingers roll through it. And it's just, once you do it once, you'll completely get it and you'll be like, I got it now. I'll be able to do this forever. But it would be literally just walking up to the lane and then just trying to put as much spin on it as you can. That will increase for you, and then eventually you'll just have to get used to it and try to understand how to control it. But that is always the one question we get asked the most is, how do I increase rev rate? Hopefully these little tricks can help you to understand it a little bit better, and if it does, let me know. If it doesn't, shoot me an email and we'll see if we can't help you out a little bit. But make sure to subscribe to this channel, and we will have more videos out on trying to help as many bowlers as possible. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
What's up, guys? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from Shopmakers Pro Shop here in Toledo, Ohio. And today we're going to go back and talk about releases again. I'm going to show you the difference between what you need to do when you play straighter versus what you need to do when you play further left, and vice versa if you're left-handed, obviously. But we're going to try and make some changes to our hand and change the ball reaction a little bit using the same ball. So if you don't have the option of making a ball change, this is what you're going to try to do. And even if you can make a ball change, you're probably going to want to try this little tweak before you try doing other things. So stay tuned. All right, so we're gonna try and take something. Let's take, I'm gonna take a big, strong ball. Okay, so I'm gonna take this aspect that I have, and I'm gonna try and play a normal hand position, you know, trying to play that 10, 11, 12 range. You know, I'm just kind of playing up the lane, using my A release, and I'm gonna judge the ball reaction and see what kind of change I need to make. Whoa. All right, so we got that up to about 11 to 7. So now how am I going to get that ball to the pocket without feeling like, holy cow, I have to change balls? Now, if I don't have a choice, if this is where I like to play, this is where I feel like I need to play, I probably have to make some kind of a small change. So I'm going to just change my hand. Now, all I'm going to do is instead of throwing my A release, I'm going to back out and I'm going to throw more of a rolly release. I'm going to try to lower my rev rate, pick up my speed, and roll it more forward to get it to stay in that spot. So when you talk to that video about the clock, I'm going to try, instead of have my thumb exit at about 10, I'm going to try to get my thumb to exit at 11 or 12, and my thumb follows through that same spot. So I can really lay off ball reaction just by changing my release. So that's closer. So I got 11 to 7, so it was closer. Didn't quite get there. So what else can I do? So now I can back out just a little bit more. Maybe I need to go a little bit weaker with my hand, or I can go higher ball speed. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and just back out just a pinch more and just see what happens. That one got right. Ooh, but it got there. So I backed out. You see it doesn't overreact, and it gives me a chance to at least get to the pocket. But now what's going to happen, now that all breaks down, now I got to get to like 20. If I use the same hand position here, I have probably got zero chance to get the ball to strike from 20. So I'm going to throw that same hand position, weak hand position, throw it to the right. I think my chances of striking are next to zero. Yep, so the ball just never hooks. It just goes down lane, doesn't do anything. So I have to now do the opposite of what I was doing when I was straighter. So when I was straighter, I had to back out of it, kind of had to manipulate the ball to make it go straighter. Now I actually need to get stronger with my hand to get the ball to strike from that spot. So I'm gonna just strengthen up. Now I'm gonna get my thumb to exit closer to 10. Back to that strong point again. Watch the ball overtake and strike. Now, go. So that's just a quick tip and shows you how and why you have to manipulate how the ball comes off your hand in order to get the ball to be able to play different parts of the lane. So we're not all always going to have the option of just changing balls, because even if your hand is super rolly and you like to play further right, that's why you struggle playing further left, is because you struggle with the ability of getting your hand around it, creating a little bit more side roll to get the ball to hook a little bit more all around the lane. So you're going to have to go practice these things a little bit to get better at it. But that's what some of the best bowlers in the world are able to do. They can play straight up the lane, and they can play way left and circle the lane a little bit when they need to. So make sure to go practice these things. I hope it helps you. And until next time, guys, I'm out of here. We'll see you later.
What's up, guys? JR Raymond here. Just got done bowling the third round of the USBC Masters just a moment ago. So we're going to do a quick video, and we're going to talk about loft and why it's not good for bowlers when we return. All right, welcome back. What's up? So bowlers actually, the good bowlers have the ability to do all sorts of different things with their hand, be able to change bowling balls. They're educated. They're able to make the right decisions most times. What they have is what this thing called talent. And what I have is what's called loft. And we go ahead and we say it is lack of explicit talent. You can figure out what the F stands for as an explicit. So we'll leave it at that. And that's what I have. I have a lack of talent, which keeps me from being very competitive out on the PBA Tour. Now, I have the education, I've got the experience, I've got all this stuff, but for some dang reason, I don't have the talent to make things happen out on tour. So that's okay. But the good news is I found a way to somehow get to 102 over and make the cut at USBC Masters. So that's good. I'll find out who I'm bowling a little bit later tonight once C Squad gets done tonight. But I got tricked, and it was annoying because I bowled 168 the first game. I watched that pair when they were bowling before we started our block, and there were 4 guys using urethane in the middle of the lane. Granted, I understand they're trying to control it and keep it in play at the end of the block. But dang it, 4 guys using urethane in the middle of the lane made them really, really weird. I tried about 7 different bowling balls during practice, and I couldn't get a shape that I was looking for to be able to score very well. So I bowled 168 with a big 4 in the 10th. Just couldn't make it happen. And I got tricked because I tried this Triton Elite, and I left a 5-7 because it just kind of hooked and then bailed the rest of the way and hit the pocket going towards the 10 pin and left the 5-7 standing. So I didn't use that ball at all. And because it did that game, I didn't really try it at all the next 2 games. I struggled. I caught a couple of good pairs the next 2 games. I bowled 190 on both of them. The next pair I went to was Jake Peters' pair. He just bowled 240. And he was using a choice pearl. So I'm like, okay, I got something similar. I will throw my statement pearl, which did allow me to start with a double, and it looked okay, but it wouldn't go through the pins, wouldn't do the right thing. So I bowled 190. I missed a spare in the 10th because I'm a dummy and I lack talent, but it's okay. So I bowled 190 there, and then bowled a good game, bowled 190 the next game, and then went to a pair down, I think it was 13-14 down on the low end, and I pull out the Triton Elite because I'm on my last straw. I'm a little bit fried out, a little irritated. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to move a little further left and give this thing a try. Start out front 4. The ball looks perfect. Stone 8, wrap 10, and then caught a couple of breaks after that and a bowling 260 to get me to 90 over. So I was in really good shape at that point after looking like I was going to, for the 3rd tournament in a row, find my way in the cut and then back my way out of it. At the very end, like I have the last 2 tournaments. So lucky for me, I was able to grab the right ball, but the good bowlers seem to find those right balls and know those right balls beforehand. And for some reason this time I did not. So that sucks. And that's where lack of talent comes into play. But that's okay. We're figuring it out. We're getting there. The one thing I do have is the ability to never give up. So it doesn't matter. I was only 20 over going into the last 2 games. I knew I needed probably, 220 the next 2. So I needed a couple of good games, but it didn't matter. I wasn't giving up. I was never going to give up. No matter where I'm at, if I need 250 every game, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop trying to figure things out before the end of the block. Even when I shoot 150 at the end of a block, that doesn't mean I gave up. It means that I was literally confused and making poor shots. So this time I happened to make the right decision and made some good shots to finish at 102 over, bowling 260, 210 the last 2, and found my way into match play. So it's good. So loft in this aspect is not good. You don't need a lack of explicit talent. You need lots of talent, and you need to make good decisions with good shots, and you will find yourself as one of the best bowlers in the world. So I know everybody was probably looking for a little drama here, thinking I was actually talking about loft, but unfortunately, that's not what it is. This is just my way of saying I stink when I should be a whole lot better than I am. So anyway, that's the recap for the day. Hope you all enjoy, and we will see you tomorrow. I'll get you some info for match play and get the brackets out and all that good stuff. So we'll see you guys later. Take care. Hey guys, if you haven't already, head over to www.lifestractioncontrol.com. Get yourself one of these cool new shirts. It's the Loft King shirt. Lack of freaking talent. So if you are like me and you have a little bit of loft in your game, head over there and check it out. Get yourself a discount code. Head over to patreon.com/lifestractioncontrol. Sign up for the $5 tier. That'll get you a 20% discount, plus put you in the Mug Club every month. So head over there and we will see you guys soon. So the question of the day, is the crossover step important? I believe it is. The crossover step is actually one of the most important things when it comes to creating a straighter swing. It's almost impossible to create a straight swing if you don't have a crossover step. And because of the crossover step, it allows the ball to get into the slot or under your chin a whole lot easier. Because when you think about it, if we're just standing up tall and we swing the ball to our side, now we have to swing it off to the side and it's away from our head. What we want is we want the ball in line with our head. So we have to be over this way to get the ball to swing. And when we swing the ball going forward, as you can see in the illustrations, when we swing the ball going forward, if we don't step to the left, the ball can't hit by the side. The ball can't slide by the side. So when we push the ball away, if we step straight forward instead of crossing over, we have to push the ball to the right to get our hip, to get around our butt. If we do that, we're causing the swing to go out behind our back, or even worse, it can create some crazy loop that you just don't want. That's really, really hard to duplicate and to repeat each shot. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you work on that crossover step and get it to where that second step, if you're taking 5 steps, that second step needs to go out in front of your left foot. And if you're only taking 4 steps, that first step needs to go out in front of your left foot. So that way you can get the ball to fall down by your side and you can continue to move with a straight path from your shoulder and the ball through your head all the way to the foul line. And you can release the ball directly under your chin rather than trying to create some crazy loop to get the ball back to where you want. So we know that key position at the foul line is in the good, strong finishing position with the ball by the ankle and it's right directly under your head. So in order to get there, we need to make sure that the ball stays in line with our head throughout the entire approach, at least as much as possible.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the live stream. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get all the notifications of our live streams and our videos posted just about daily.
Oh, it's got a hook. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Come on now. Can I have a hug? Give me a hug for that one. Thank you. I appreciate you.
What's happening, guys? JR Raymond coming to you from Struthers, Ohio. Just got done bowling the qualifier at the regional here. But what I did was put together a video for you guys to watch. It's going to be quite a long video, so bear with me on this. There are parts that are really, really cool. You get to hear the inside conversations between me and some of the other guys that are bowling on the pair. You get to see all of practice and why I'm making a certain ball choices, and I'm speaking out loud so you can hear my thoughts out loud, so that way you can understand what's going through my head, and then you can also see and hear some of the suggestions that I'm making for Mikey on the pair with me too. So game 2, I only did the first 3 games because I mean it was like 2 hours worth of footage still. So even this is going to be really long. I don't expect everybody to watch the whole thing, but this is something to kind of go back and look at, and you can listen to each move that I make. You can listen in on why I'm making certain moves, why I'm making certain adjustments throughout each game, and kind of make some decisions on your own on maybe it'll help you. Maybe it will help you make some moves and make similar situations. So hope you guys enjoy. Try to stick around as long as you can, because there are some good spots near the end as well.
It's not easy getting loose anymore.
This one's going right up.
Right up 2, eh? Not quite. Well, 7. Ooh, that felt good. They're not tacky today. They're good today.
Yesterday they were really bad.
So generally take about the first 5 or 6 shots in practice trying to get loose. Never really trying to hit a target. Just really focusing on making sure my hand's in the right spot, doing the right thing, and getting loose all at the same time. Still kind of paying attention to ball reaction throughout. Not trying to do too much, but pay a little bit of attention. Still, even though you're trying to get loose, you can still see whether your ball's hooking too much or not. Or if it's not hooking enough. Or if it's not seeing the right spot. So you just really try to pay attention even when you're getting loose. So the problem is, I'm starting feeling a little hang in a certain spot on my thumb right now. I'm hoping it's just a little bit of swelling so I can get it to come off a little bit cleaner. It's gotten better since the first shot, but still not where I want it. After the Pro-Am last night. So it's hanging on that certain spot. So I got to pay attention to what's going on. We got original precision right now. It's like a 2.5-inch pen. Just taking a look with that. This pattern is pretty flat. Trying to get the ball to slow down in the back part of the lane and not overreact without using urethane. There's so much volume. Back ends hook so much. Yeah, that one actually came off my hand. It felt all right. That would require bowling a score over 210, so no. I hope you're right. Don't do it. Oh, yeah. That was a good one. Oh, this ball looks okay. Don't do it. Get rid of that urethane. I don't know. I'm going to check it out. I'll take a peek. I'll take a gander. But that's what it's going to be that, though. That's what I'm worried about.
Get a rampage.
Probably get there all day, just never strike.
What's different than any other day?
Yeah, the next one will go 60 feet because now there's oil on it. That's what those ones do. Purple ones, the purple ones hook so much the first shot. The next shot, not so much. Oh, I got a headache already. Ma. Ma. It works. I know it does. We got it working before. There it goes. Stop it.
They only went 55 feet. 60 feet. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I don't know. It might actually be a good way to start because then I can just jump 45 left and throw it at the gutter. I don't know. We'll see. I got about 8 minutes to figure it out, so. It works. Just gotta catch it just right. There you go. Wasn't 4. All right, so now we're in the purple hammer, taking a look at it just to see what it gives me. A little bit straighter up the line. Might be a pretty good option to get it to blend frame 1. I'm not trying to throw it perfect so much. No. Got decisions to make now. The decision looks pretty good, but I got to go about 12 left of where I am with this purple hammer. What happens if it doesn't hook to the right? Right. Let's see if we can square it up just a little bit more. Yeah, that'll probably keep me out of trouble. I don't know how much it's actually going to strike. It's hard to make a decision on what to do so early because we don't know what scoring pace is going to be. But settling down the first game is always difficult for me, so maybe that would be a pretty good option. See if I can roll one a little bit more and get it to go through the fence.
5 minutes for motors, 5 minutes.
Moving back one right again. And through it. That doesn't see it. That's where my concern is. So I roll one. And it doesn't go. It doesn't go through the fence. Doesn't get there in 2 minutes. But I'll get my hand around a little bit and get there. Strike. Let's try it again. Time left to make a decision. Next same spot. This time I'll get my hand through it and around it. So that makes my decision easy. So that one, just a little bit left and watch it jerk through the face. That's not a good sign. So we're going to go with the precision. We're going to move back left. Okay, maybe left a little more. Got that little bit of a hang. So I'm feeling it hang a little bit. So I'm going to lower my tape just a pinch. See if I can get it off my hand a little cleaner. Not much, just a little bit. Like 1/8 of an inch. That feels better. Glad I didn't go too far.
That is a lead right there.
The old, the 147, 167 pen. There we go. That was better. That one felt like it came off. Still felt tight, which is good. It goes back to what we were teaching. If I stand on the approach feeling like, oh man, I don't know if this is going to come off. It feels tight. And then you get to the bottom of the swing and it flies off. That's the goal. So that's what I had there. gotta trust it. You can see they're starting to move a little bit. Everybody's trying to throw different balls. Now they're saying 210s. People are missing the head pin. So now the lanes are changing quite a bit now. Generally, that's a good thing for me. Generally, that means scores go down. So that's good. Now we're going to small move left, keep it in front. Just like that. Let's see how much of that I can repeat. So yesterday in practice, it looked really good going fifth arrow, throwing it as far right as I wanted with an Eruption Pro. I'm gonna throw one now just to see if that will still be an option later. Get my thumb out. So this is a 4.5 inch Eruption Pro. All right, it's not there yet. And it wasn't a very good shot. We're good, man. We're good. All right, so we made a decision. Game one, frame one, we're going to go with the 2.5 inch precision. Just try to make as good shots as we can, see what happens. Make for spares, get through game one, decide where to go from there. Shot. All right. Ooh. I can throw it right there. Still get it back. That's good news. Hard to call that an unfortunate break. I didn't hit my target. It wasn't even really that close. But it could have fell. All right. All right. Start. Not much you can really do about that other than try to throw it back. I'm the only Billy Goat to not strike. That's pretty good. That's better. Thanks. A little better there. Still feel that little bit of hang on my thumb. That's all right. It's not really affecting too much. O'Grady Mikey's over here doing push-ups. Not really. Get down to look at the lane. And that's why I chose to go away from urethane. 810 on a shot he probably thought was pretty good. Hey, is that a result from that push-up you did beforehand?
I was trying to see if you
Sure, yeah. don't get enough workout in between. You got to do something here in between shots.
I didn't do shit this morning.
No.
I usually I just like a little light stretch. I usually try to get a sweat going.
Yeah.
Like let me try something different because I'm always usually throwing it too hard to start.
Right.
Be a stiff old geezer might work out in my favor.
Stiff old geezer. How old are you now?
32.
Yeah, you're still young pup.
Yeah.
Still young pup.
34.
34. Yeah. I'm getting up there, man. You've seen senior tour in 16 years.
It's true.
Yeah. That if I continue to bowl, I don't know if I'll still be around. I'll probably be just teaching by then.
Yeah.
I'm already getting into that phase where it's hard to stay competitive because I'm more focused on students and everything I've got going on with Turbo and Dexter and travel and all that stuff. It's more important than striking for myself.
Sometimes it's more lucrative.
Yeah, most times. All right, see if we can throw this one better. This headache, though. On my left side of my skull. It's got a chance. Or it was perfect. Thought it was in a bit. But that's what happens. That's what we're looking for. So we're looking for ball reaction to where you miss a little right like I did the first frame and you switch to 7-pin or something like that. You throw the second one perfect, come back up in the third frame and you miss a little left. Maybe it was a little bit of a trying to make sure I didn't miss right again type of thing, overcompensation. So you miss in a little bit and it sits there and strikes. So that's the ball reaction you're technically looking for. You don't want to have to throw it perfect all the time. But if you can throw it perfect all the time, power to you. Not a fan of Mikey's decision here. I think he's just trying to keep it in play. Get 9 as much as possible. Kind of like what I talked about a little bit. No, but I'm afraid your bad shots are going to be that 8-10, 2-8-10. I know, but that's why I went away from it though. I thought about it for a minute. I'm like, I could throw urethane here and stay out of trouble. Probably.
I didn't get lined up with anything else.
I know. Yeah.
So I don't want to hit the hole. So I don't want to start off with 150 like I did the last 3 tournaments.
Right.
I can break 190 here and maybe try something still.
Well, and you're talking about a pattern that scores should be fairly low anyway, so patience will be key.
8 games.
Yeah, 8 games. Just keep your head in it.
I just gotta wait. Best 3 tournaments every time. It happens the same every time. I start off slow. The lanes come to me when I can really get in, get at it, and then I run back down the field again.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to catch 2 out of the 3 times. So.
Just don't go out there trying to play shots and just go and make the best shot you can. Get 9, make your spare, move on. Just put yourself in grind mode to start because you know it's going to be there later. You know you're going to strike out low later. Just let it happen. I'm gonna bend over backwards. Jeez. I don't have any with me. Oh, shim a bunch. Ah, dang it. That's what we don't want to do. Dang it. That's all right. It's 9. 9's good in that situation. I'm throwing that bad. Still get 9. Probably shouldn't be bad. But like when you see, that's a prime example. That's not an example of, that's not me getting mad at the result. That's me getting mad at the bad shot that I made. All right, good spare. That's what you see too often. You see these guys, they come back and they get mad, or they're throwing their towel down. It's not so much they're mad because they think they should strike every shot. It's more so they're mad because they didn't make the greatest shot. They're mad at themselves for not making the greatest shot. Keep that in mind the next time you see somebody. I mean, obviously nobody should be kicking ball returns and stuff like that, but kind of, punching their hands together or slapping their thigh or something like that. They're mad at themselves usually. All right, run down. All right. This is where we regroup. Throw one back. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Not good. What was that? That's what you're trying to avoid. Come on. Ugh. Take a piece of tape out. See it? Do it. Look a little. Atta baby. Good shot. Thanks. All right, I gotta take the tape out of that a little bit. Just a piece. That hang is affecting me a little too much. Remove one piece. Yeah, that fits. We'll try it. See what happens. Stole all your water. Thank you. Give me nuts if I don't want them. All right, regroup. Time to regroup. Throw a really good shot. Close. Shot. What's left? Head down. It's not the bowling you suck at, it's the decision making. All right. Regroup. Good time to make a change if you're going to make one. Hopefully water takes this headache away. Maybe I didn't drink water yesterday. Well, that ain't true because I was telling my wife I was feeling bloated because I was drinking too much water. That's not true. So, well, Who knows? Maybe it'll still help. That's your random comment of the day. Brady's using a super slow prime, shoving it in there from like 13. I think same type of shape as me as far as through the front, or like heavy arrows in the same area, but I'm throwing it further right than him. He's just jamming it in there with a super slow ball, which looks really good. All right, regroup. Throw another good shot here. Great shot. Great shot. Thanks. Come on. All right, good move. One more good one here. Close. Oh, baby. Come on. I think that ball change is a good idea. I think that's the right idea with the ball. I think it's the wrong area that you gotta go further left. That's fine, but you're going to be caught in between there. That's why I went away from that little shim area. That's that track area that is really, there's early hook. So if you get it going right, it's going to do that, or even worse, 2, 8, 10. You get it going up the lane, it's going to overhook off of that. That's why I went into like 13, 14, 15 area, and I'm not trying to throw it that far right. You know, that ball's strong enough. Yeah, and then when you were with the urethane, you had to go so straight with it, otherwise it wouldn't hook. And when you get it going too far up the lane, same thing. So you're caught with the same ball reaction anywhere right of 10. You know? So I think you're to a point now where you can start to go left, get to that 13, 14 range with that big, strong ball, and then just keep going left. That's what he's doing, but he's throwing it too far right with too strong of a ball. Got a hook. Come on, give it a run. I just think that's fast. You know what I'm saying? I think you're just trying to jam it in there because you're afraid of it not hooking or overhooking. Stay with it. Don't fry out yet. All right. There we go. One more good one. One more good one. Oh, that's got a hook. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Come on now. Can I have a hug? Give me a hug for that one. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah. Let me get out your chair, sir.
Oh, no,
Yeah, I got you. You're all right. It's more about the commentary than anything. Oh boy. Hey, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? But if that's the same speed as the last one, that goes past the head pin. That one was just slower. You got it right, and it was okay. So you made an over adjustment trying to get slower, and you threw it right. That's good news. I'd be happy as get out. No, I'm gonna try to bowl for somebody else instead of me. Why? So you can shoot 150 every first game?
I can shoot 180.
Well, then do it.
Last tournament I had a punch for 159.
You're all right. Come on now. You're not doing anything other than worrying about making too good of shots. And I do think, I don't think you pay enough attention. And maybe it's because you don't really know what to look for yet. You're not sure what you're looking for. But you got to remember, like, everything I've always taught was looking for a specific shape no matter what you're bowling on. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it was that day that you bowled the best you've ever bowled and you just couldn't stop striking. I'm not talking about shape through the first 30 feet of the lane. I'm talking about shape like after 32 feet, what your ball does at like 32 feet, and then what it does the rest of the lane. I'm talking about that shape. Where you make that shape doesn't matter. You just have to make it somewhere. Does that make sense? Big surprise, OG shooting 250. That's a good bowler right there. One good bowler. A lot better bowler than he gives himself credit for. Come on. That's to be expected. You can't keep throwing it to the right and expecting it to hook every time. Eventually, it's not going to. Those are the ones you get mad about. That's ridiculous. How do you throw that many bad shots to the right? Oh, that's frustrating. Come on, man. Like, that's a prime example of a game where you throw, what, 6 or 7 good shots, and you still end up shooting 230. On a game where you probably bowled 180 at best. That's why bowling balls and making the right shape on the lane is so important. So that way, when you have a game like this where you throw it bad, and that's what the best in the world do, is they're able to, you know, create games to where they don't throw it perfect every time and still bowl 230 or better. And then the times when they throw it good, they're bowling 270. You know, so it's the difference between the best in the world and me. So, fill ball. I'm actually going to try and go a few left. Same ball. Get my hand around it a pinch and see what it is. Jammed it left. That's pretty good left. Pretty good 9. All right. So I tried to pay a little bit of attention to what was going on over here. It didn't look like anybody was going crazy. Nobody was using urethane. I'm gonna try and throw frame. See if I can't stay where I finished. Just make a good shot. Alright. Balance wasn't there, but all reaction was. That's pretty good. Pretty good direction. Maybe a little sharper down lane, so that might be a good or bad thing, I'm not sure. Good shot. Good shot. Oh boy. Wow. I mean, in my defense, I threw that really good. So, where'd my water go? Well, I was definitely right about crisper back ends. Definitely hook more. I mean, I missed right a little bit on the right lane, and it came up perfect, high flush, and I dead nutted that one on the left lane. That overhooked like crazy. Yeah, I saw it off your hand. I said, good shot. So.
You may want to watch the video on that trip 4.
Huh?
You may want to watch the video on the trip 4.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't a trip 4. That was trip 4-6. All right, so now we got a decision to make. Another hooking. This goes back to the flatness of the pattern. Yesterday, during practice, the flatness was to the right, and I actually tapered a little bit in the middle. My look was better playing deep inside. I guess we'll watch this ball. You move left, miss left. Move left, miss left. Common thing to do. So I'm gonna.
Hi, JR. I
Kyle thinks he's funny. I got the mic on, so it
Ish.
Is that funny-ish? Couldn't tell if he looked in the camera and said "I love you" or if he said olive juice. I think it was olive juice. So here's the thing. So we come into game 2, catch a great break off of 2 fairly good shots. You catch a great break on the second shot. Gives you the opportunity to make the right move, do the right thing. Now you just got to take advantage of it. Take advantage of the breaks. How'd you do that? Did you move left and miss left? Yeah. That confirms it. I still tried to sit there, so that's going to make my decision easier. So I'm going to move left. I don't think it could be just 1, 2. I'm going to go like 4. We'll go 4 and 4 and 2. Still have enough hook to the right. It should be the back. Should still see enough friction down. Roll 2. Yeah, daddy. That's a good one. All right, 4 left. And we're going to go 5 and 3. 5 and 3. Just kidding. Good shot. That's what I'm talking about right there. Good shot. So I got up, made the 4-board move, looked at what would have been a 2-board move with my eyes, and it just didn't look right. And I'm going to tell everybody right now, if it doesn't look right, if it doesn't feel right, do something different. Make a change. Do something. So instead, I made an extra 1 and 1 and 1 half. Made it look better for me. And dead aced it off the hand. So we took advantage of the break. We've got to keep taking advantage of it now that we know the move. The question comes into play of whether this left lane hooks the right lane or not. I don't really think it does. I watched Greg's ball. Roll 2 pin. I'm going to make the same move. Got a hook. Got a hook. Oh, baby. Give me that. Woo. Woo, woo, woo. Daddy likes. Daddy likes it a lot. That's pretty good, yeah. Good 4-bagger. Or a ham bone, whatever you want to call it. Shot. Thanks. Mikey does here. Last time he moved left and missed left. And now he moved right. So watching Mikey, I want to use him as a prime example of somebody, a young kid, who is so competitive, so amped up all the time, just wants to do so well, and throws it so well. But he gets himself too fired up, gets himself going too quick, doesn't focus enough, and he gets way ahead of himself and throws a lot of bad shots because of it. Because he doesn't trust that he knows to make the right move with, bowling balls, his hand, and all that. So he's going to be a really good bowler one day as long as he stays with it. Keeps practicing, keeps bowling tournaments. He's made match play. He's made runs at winning regionals. Good spare. Come on now. Is that gonna hook? Ah, that was bad. So that's what you can't do. 9's good there. Jeez Louise. Just throw it that bad. All of a sudden my misses are to the right. Woo boy. Rolled right off the top of my toe. That is a bad shot. Can't make bad shots like that and expect to get away with it.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the live stream. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get all the notifications of our live streams and our videos posted just about daily.
Let's see if Mikey can settle down. Good shot. You can tell Jake feels like he's in a phone booth. He's trying to fit it in there also. He doesn't quite have the ball reaction he's looking for. He's changed balls probably 3 or 4 times already. That's close. Attaboy. Oh, you just do that a bunch more times, you'll be okay. That looked good.
Go find a Chinese buffet and drown my sorrows.
It's game 2, bro. Six-bagger. Looks pretty good. All right. Regroup. Focus. See it. Make it happen. Not bad. Lost leverage. Lost leverage. Balance wasn't quite there. Fell off a little to the right, which makes it kind of expected. Flat 10 off, something like that. Here shortly, I'm gonna have to get out of this ball. 2.5 inch pinning, gonna get through the pins as I keep going left. All right, make spare. Spare. Good job. Good job. Not a bad shot. All right, regroup. Let's go. Do it again. My spare ball don't like coming back. There it is. All right, man. Good shot. One good one. Here we go. That's close. Uh-oh. That's where we're getting to. This is what I was talking about. Now we're getting into that point where the ball doesn't want to go through the fence. I got one more move I can make. One more move I can make here. Right after I make this spare. Woo, boy. All right.
Read that bottom comment. That's from one of my older friends from back home.
I'm confused by that. I'm confused by that. Was he saying to throw plastic?
He's very much anti-left. And anti-law.
What?
My right foot caught my left foot.
Oh, okay. We'll go with that. Boy, oh boy. That's how you get a dislocated shoulder there in a heartbeat. Good grief. All right, so I know this sounds backwards, but I was just saying that moving left would force the this ball to not go through the pins very much. So as I go left, it wouldn't do it. So off of a flat 10, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Go a little bit more left. But I'm going to get my hand around it. Let's see if I can't get it to go through the pins. So I'm going to move 2. Move 2, get stronger. Oh, and yank it left. Ooh, that's a lot of 9. That's a lot of 9. Come on, man. What was I saying? Common tendency is to move left and miss left. Jeez. Come on. All right. It's fair. Keep grinding. Keep grinding. Dang it. Ugh. Oh boy. Oh yeah, there we go. Boomski. Okay. All right, so before the camera got knocked over, or just after the camera got knocked over, I split in the 9 on what I thought was okay. So that told me that move was wrong. So I changed balls in the 10th and spare strike off moving to the Eruption Pro and going left. So see what happens here on this game. What you trying to do?
I was trying to reset that button.
Oh.
They had count standing up.
Okay. All right. Sip the 6 now. Oh boy, that's right. A little bit of a wait in between games. Always makes the first shot questionable. The fact that even hooked it all, that came back from there, that's good news. So we'll be in good shape. Hook. Woo. Oh, that was close. Sorry. All right. We can throw this one good off that last one. Last one was not very good. Same spot. Closer. That's better. All right. So that's what happens. We get you start getting too far left with those shorter pin bowling balls that are smoother. They don't go through the pins. So then I got to go to the stronger pins. When I go to stronger pin, strong ball, they're too strong. So I got to go to stronger pin, weak ball, like an Option Pro with lower dip, with the higher RG. And they forced me to go much farther left. So now I'm literally 15 further left than where I was to start game 2. But that's okay. Just keep plugging away. So I bowled 230, 210. See what we come up with the rest of the way. Yeah, I mean, I think he's just too fast. That's all.
Yeah, that one was definitely too fast, but I got into that spot on the first pair, I was never coming back.
Right. Every time I bend over to pick up the ball, I'm getting. But I finally got Tylenol, so it's still a good one here. Regroup. Really good one. It's got to push. It's a good break though. Now it's slow and it's not good all around. Oh man, stay back there. I know. Shame on me. Tommy Graham's orange shoes popping down. Came in color coordinated today. Orange shirt, orange shoes.
Uno and Uno left.
So I made a small move there. Small move, 1-on-1 left. Just try to get the balls up. Playing that taper. So in the middle of the lane, there's a little bit more volume. Flatter to the right. We'll taper. So I can, as I move left, I can see a little bit more volume. So I'm just going to keep going left the rest of the day. It should be okay. Only issue is if I run into pairs that don't hook to the right. Really hope this series of videos does well and gets the attention and viewership because this is fun. I enjoy doing commentary, new shots, all that stuff. Hopefully people like it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Continue to do it. Give you a little bit of an inside look of what we do, or at least for me, what I do. Some of the moves that I make, why I make them. Gives you an idea of how some of these patterns at the regional level play. I don't know if they'll let me do this at a national stop. Should, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't even know what.
They say bowling is a dying sport.
A dying sport.
I disagree. I disagree.
I disagree.
I disagree.
I disagree.
BowlerX.com for the love of bowling.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the live stream. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get all the notifications of our live streams and our videos posted just about daily.